Somos con este partidazo que es el Real Club Deportivo Mallorca contra el FC Barcelona. El conjunto de Yago Barrasate contra el conjunto de Hansi Flick. Los dos conjuntos buscarán sumar sus 3 primeros puntos de la Liga. Esta es imagen ahora mismo en directo desde Somos. Van entrando todos y cada uno de los asistentes que hoy van a asistir a este partido que arrancará a las 7:30, día de mucho calor. Por lo tanto, desde aquí la primera indicación que lanzamos es que tomen precaución, que se hidraten, que lleven gorra, que tomen precaución. Un servidor, ya estamos aquí de nuevo, Lorenzo, yo soy Llorens Diego, muchas gracias por volver a contar con nosotros. Y hoy a mi izquierda, mi compañero que hoy estará con nosotros, Sandro. Muy buenas tardes, bienvenido.
¿Qué tal, compañero? ¿Cómo estamos?
Vuelve la Liga, ya había ganas, prácticamente podemos decir que ha estado 2-3 meses sin que la Liga, con ese pequeño parón, ¿no? Porque no parón de fútbol, porque ha habido Mundial de Club, pero sí parón de Liga y parón de nuestro Mallorquete, ¿no? Que ya teníamos muchísimas ganas de que volviera a través del fútbol, sobre todo arrancando la Liga con este partidazo y en casa, en Somos.
Sí, realmente el parón ha sido un poco artificial, ¿no? Esto por este Mundial de Clubes que se inventaron. Pero es verdad que la Liga sí que paró y al final nuestros intereses estaban puestos en el Mallorca. Hemos descansado 2 mesecitos. Un poco menos por la pretemporada, es verdad, pero con ganas de que empezase el fútbol de verdad. Y hoy con un partidazo, porque esta primera jornada contra el FC Barcelona, pues una forma de empezar intensa.
Hay mucho que analizar en esta previa que ahora en un rato vamos a analizar. Hay muchos puntos, y tenemos uno nuevo que está fuera en los aledaños. Ahora iremos con ella, pero antes de nada, antes de ir con nuestra nueva compañera que es perdona, vamos con el mister, con Damián, vamos a escuchar al mister.
Sí, ya estamos con el mister, con Yago Barrasate, la primera de esta temporada. Mister, ¿qué tal?
Hola, buenas. Bueno, marcado por la ilusión de afrontar una nueva temporada, de jugar en casa contra el campeón, pues bueno, no podemos tener más alicientes.
Decías ayer en la rueda de prensa que había que hacer un partido perfecto, pero ¿por dónde pasa esa perfección? Es decir, ¿qué cosas hay que hacer para intentar sacar un resultado positivo?
Bueno, primero incomodarles, ¿no? Porque si ellos están cómodos son capaces de generar muchas ocasiones de gol y ahí lo normal es que se impongan, pero a su vez creo que tenemos que ser valientes y tenemos que atacarles también para que ellos puedan correr hacia atrás, ¿no? Resumiendo, es muy fácil decir que hay que acercarse a la excelencia, pero luego esa frase luego tiene como muchas variantes, muchas aristas y hay muchas cosas que hay que hacer bien para hacer frente al campeón de Liga.
En cuanto al 11, vemos que es prácticamente idéntico al que jugó contra el Hamburgo, solo un cambio en la entrada de Antonio Sánchez. Imagino que por la buena imagen que dejó el equipo en ese partido has decidido darle continuidad.
Sí, ya la idea era sacar un 11 que se podía parecer al del inicio de Liga. Tuvimos la baja de Samu, creo que Antonio estuvo bien el sábado pasado, me gustó el equipo y bueno, optamos por este 11 sabiendo que siempre, pero sobre todo ahora en agosto, cuando tenemos calor, cuando los equipos no están rodados al 100%, los 5 cambios van a ser muy importantes.
Ya la última, Yago, ¿cuán importante puede ser la afición el día de hoy?
Pues, vital, ¿no? Al final necesitamos a la afición, necesitamos nosotros hacer un buen partido, conectar con ellos con nosotros. Pues bueno, que se viva una noche mágica, ¿no? Para hacer frente a todo este Barcelona necesitamos de la afición y de esa conexión equipo-afición.
Yago, gracias y suerte.
Vale, gracias.
El directo manda y aquí en el PR Live nosotros le damos prioridad. El mister se ha colado entre esa pequeña presentación, esa bienvenida de nuevo aquí en esta nueva temporada, esta temporada 2025-2026 que arranca hoy, este 16 de agosto, aquí en casa, con mucha calor. Vemos ahí imágenes de la gente con mucho calor, con abanico. Bueno, vamos primero con las palabras, Sandro, de Yago Barrasate, porque hoy, en un partido como hoy, simplemente se puede analizar al rival con lo que ha hecho en pretemporada, porque prácticamente es muy complicado. Aún no ha arrancado la Liga, no lo hemos podido ver cómo están. Lo hemos podido ver en pretemporada y el Barcelona ha jugado con equipos de muy poco bajo de su nivel, ¿no? Que podría enfrentarse. Pero así todo, en sus 4 partidos de pretemporada, que han jugado 4 victorias y han marcado 20 goles y solo 4 goles en contra le ha marcado el conjunto de Hansi Flick. Parece que el vigente campeón de la Liga, que es el FC Barcelona, no se ha ido a descansar, le ha venido bien este parón.
Sí, ellos han tenido una ventaja que al no tener Mundial de Clubes han podido descansar el tiempo que tenían que descansar, luego han podido preparar bien esta pretemporada y creo que ellos juegan con una ventaja que al final es tener el mismo entrenador, prácticamente el mismo equipo, les da un bagaje o tener un rodaje ya hecho que no vas a empezar de cero. Entonces eso, teniendo el nivel de los jugadores que tiene y aparte creo que han fichado bien, lo poco que han fichado lo han hecho bien, les da ese plus de poder arrancar ya muy fuerte, y lo hemos visto en pretemporada. Evidentemente el nivel de exigencia de los equipos con los que ha jugado no es el que pueda esperar el FC Barcelona, pero eso le ha permitido a lo mejor a Hansi el poder perfeccionar un poco las ideas que tenía, que el año pasado ya vimos cómo terminó la temporada.
El vigente campeón de la Liga, un equipo que ahora analizaremos las alineaciones tanto de el conjunto local, el Mallorca, nuestro Mallorca, pues y también contra el FC Barcelona. Vamos a analizar los dos 11 titulares, tanto del Barcelona como el del Mallorca, ahora en un rato, pero antes también vamos a analizar un poquito más estas palabras de Yago Barrasate, que ya lo dijo en la rueda de prensa previa al partido de hoy, que para poder ganar al Barcelona, pero a estos rivales que diríamos que están en la parte alta de la Liga, tienes que acercarte un poquito a esa excelencia.
Sí, sobre todo porque tú tienes que intentar que tu mejor nivel sea lo más alto posible, pero evidentemente si ellos jugasen a su máximo nivel es muy difícil igualarlos. Entonces tienes que intentar que ellos no estén todo lo bien que puedan estar. Evidentemente los momentos de pretemporada, los inicios de temporada, son esos momentos que ellos pueden a lo mejor sufrir un poquito. Entonces ver que con ese calor, que al no estar adaptados, que a lo mejor la exigencia que no hayan tenido a día de hoy no les haya permitido prepararse igual, es encontrar ese punto de que ellos no estén todo lo bien que podrían estar, y a partir de aquí tú intentar aprovechar las oportunidades que puedas tener. Muy importante también, ha comentado el tema de los cambios. Al final lo estamos hablando, ¿no? Estamos en agosto, estamos a 37 grados, la sensación térmica es mayor, mucha humedad. La ventaja que tienen nuestros jugadores, que se entrenan con ello, que están preparados un poco o más preparados para vivir esa situación.
Hay que decir que también en Barcelona, que no están muy lejos de aquí, que son nuestros vecinos, también hace una temperatura similar, pero bueno, que es verdad que hoy yo creo que los jugadores del banquillo también van a jugar un papel fundamental, siempre lo juegan, ¿no? Pero hoy más que nunca, porque con esta calor yo creo que va a ser un factor importante a tener en cuenta en el partido de hoy, que arranca a las 7:30, y yo creo que ya tenemos a nuestro compañero Damián, porque ahora sí, una vez ya hemos escuchado a Yago Barrasate, hoy hemos empezado un poco por atrás, pero vamos a volver a retomar el punto, porque bueno, han salido los guardametas del Mallorca, parece que ahora salen también los del FC Barcelona, y es cuando vamos a conectar con nuestro compañero Damián para que nos cuente cómo le ha ido el verano, y también que nos dé esos 11 titulares. No sé si tenemos a Damián o no lo tenemos a punto ya a nuestro compañero, un compañero que hace tiempo ya que no lo vemos, que ha tenido un verano bastante ajetreado y ha estado también en la pretemporada con el Mallorca, y él nos lo va a poder contar de primera mano cómo ha podido vivir esa pretemporada con el conjunto de Yago Barrasate, una pretemporada de Sandro del Mallorca que yo creo que es importante recalcar que muy buenos números. Yo creo que una sola derrota ante el Olympique de Lyon por ese 0-4, que es verdad que el Olímpico de Lyon fue bastante superior en ese partido, y un empate, pero todo lo otro victorias, y yo creo que sobre todo ante el Hamburgo aquí en el Trofeo Ciutat de Palma se vio un buen Mallorca.
Sí, yo creo que sobre todo es el partido más a tener en cuenta por el rival que era, por el momento que era, por el equipo que salió. Al final en Lyon o en pretemporada vas probando jugadores, vas probando minutos, muchos partidos, por ejemplo 3 partidos prácticamente en una semana, mucha carga, cansancio, calor. Incluso la segunda parte del Olympique de Lyon fue un partido totalmente distinto. Entonces yo creo que la referencia es el partido del Hamburgo, y no solo fue un buen partido, sino vimos por ejemplo asociaciones, ¿no?, entre Antonio, Pablo Torre y Sergi Darder, que además juegan los tres, juegan en la misma posición, que se asociaron bien, que el Mallorca lo entendió y que fue capaz de generarle peligro. Además vimos el por qué apostar también no por Deo Román, hizo un partidazo, sí, el guardameta de Ibiza, y yo creo que era un poco ese espejo en el que mirarse o ver un poco cómo nos podríamos enfrentar hoy al FC Barcelona.
Bueno, para enfrentarse al FC Barcelona hay que saber primero las alineaciones, por lo tanto no vamos a hacer esperar más. Damián, compañero, paso tuyo. Alineaciones y ¿cómo estás?
Sí, ¿qué tal, Llorens? ¿Qué tal, Sandro? ¿Y qué tal a todos los mallorquinistas? Otra temporada más de Play Red Live desde aquí, desde este estadio Mallorca Somos, que hoy abre sus puertas de manera oficial tras hacerlo en el Trofeo Ciutat de Palma frente al Hamburgo. Hoy lo hace frente a todo el campeón de Liga, frente a todo el Fútbol Club Barcelona. Se espera un ambientazo espectacular y seguramente en los aledaños también se nota, y conectaremos también por ahí. Pero aquí, lo dicho, poco a poco se va llenando las gradas de este estadio Mallorca Somos, que quiere ver a su equipo estrenarse en este campeonato de Liga 2025-2026, y para ello Yago Barrasate, que apuesta por un 11 con el que buscará a toda esta gente darle la primera alegría del curso, que esperemos que sea la primera de muchas. Para ello, para intentar hacerlo, el conjunto de Yago Barrasate, que sale con Leo Román en portería, que estrena, ojo por cierto, el guardameta Ibicenco, el número 1, línea de 4 para Antonio Raillo y Martín Valle como pareja de centrales, costados para Mateu Jaume y Johan Mojica. En el medio campo, Antonio Sánchez estará acompañado por Manu Morlanes. En la media punta estará un ex del FC Barcelona como es Pablo Torre. Bandas para Silvio Darder y Takuma Sano. Arriba, Vedat Muric. Este es el 11 con el que sale el Real Club Deportivo Mallorca, que ha contado con hasta 5 cosas del directo, hasta 5 ausencias del Mallorca en este partido. Cosas del directo también es contar con la inestimable ayuda de Dimonió, que, mira, es una cosa que nos queríamos guardar para posteriormente, pero aquí la camiseta que hoy portará el Mallorca es esta con Gelpillo, que es la mascota de nuestro principal patrocinador, Gel Taika, y hoy, pues Dimonió, como os lo he dicho, cosas del directo nos ha hecho que se supone que queríamos contaros más tarde.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's fixture. We're finally back after a long break. It's been a very long summer since we've last seen, a very long time since we've last seen Real Mallorca play, and we're finally back with the first match of the LaLiga division. And it's been such a long time since we've seen this team play here at the Estadi Somos. And what better way to start off the league, the first match of the division, with, I would say, the biggest bang, the biggest opponent. Real Mallorca are going to be facing Barcelona out here today, and we're just about 40 minutes away from kickoff, so do not go anywhere. We have a lot to talk about. A lot of things have happened within the last few months. There's been a lot of changes in this Real Mallorca squad, and we have to talk about the objectives that we have coming up this season for Real Mallorca. And of course, we have a big match out here today, up against, I would argue, the biggest team in the league, the biggest competition, the biggest threat, and one of the biggest teams in the whole of Europe. So again, what a way to start the league, pretty much up against one of the biggest threats, one of the biggest teams in the world here at the Estadi Somos. So we're going to start off and just talk about the last time out for Real Mallorca. And if you did watch the preseason here on the YouTube Play Red Live channel, you would know that the last time out for Real Mallorca, they actually faced, just about a week ago, they faced Hamburg SV here at the Somos Stadium, where the home side managed to keep home the Ciudad de Palma trophy. That was just last week out, up against Hamburg. They did manage to win the match and keep the trophy at home. It's a tradition they do every year here at the Somos Stadium. It's a friendly with a trophy award, and this year they faced up against Hamburg, and again, Real Mallorca did win it 2-0. Takuma Sano actually scoring the first goal in that matchup, and then the second goal being a bit of a unfortunate own goal by Mohaim. Unfortunately, last time out for Real Mallorca, just last week out, as I just mentioned, in that friendly, Samu Costa actually picked up a bit of an injury just in the 12th minute, picked up a knee injury, and he's going to be out till late August, so bit unfortunate missing him in the first matchup. And here is the Barcelona squad actually walking out there, walking through the tunnels, and such big names in that squad, such big threats. If we actually talk about this Barcelona squad, if we're talking new signings, they've not made much. They only have one new signing. I think, you know, everybody's got an eye on him. It's Marcus Rashford, who's been the new signing for Barcelona. He is here. He's not starting, but he is in the bench. Most likely comes out here today. There's Lamine Yamal, of course, walking out, and many big names in this Barcelona squad. It's probably going to be the toughest match of the season up against this Barcelona squad with such young and fresh players. But plenty to talk about from their side and from our side. But again, as I was just mentioning, if you did see the preseason here on the Real Mallorca on the YouTube Play Red channel, it was quite a decent start to the preseason. It definitely wasn't too bad. I think there was a bit of room for improvement in the preseason. It wasn't terrible results, but it just looked like some of those players were lacking a bit of ambition in the preseason. Of course, a preseason, a lot of times, doesn't mean a lot when it comes to the actual season. A lot of times it can be fake promises, but either way, I think it was good. I think it was positive, but I think there was room for improvement. But out here today is going to be the biggest test of the season. First match in and up against the toughest team in the league. There they are, there standing. So many big names in that squad. But either way, we'll see what Real Mallorca can do up against Barcelona out here today. Obviously, the odds are completely against Real Mallorca, but I've seen this squad pull off some big miracles within the last few years. So again, anything is definitely possible. Now, one thing I do want to talk about the preseason and what we have up and coming here today is I was actually looking at my favorite players that were standing out in the preseason the most was definitely by the names of Pablo Torre, the new signing for Real Mallorca, who's actually facing his former club out here today. And I think Mateo Jauman was also just very impressive in the preseason. I think those two players caught everybody's eye, caught everyone's attention the most in the whole of the preseason, and both of them are starting out here today. So hopefully we'll get to see even more of them from that here today. If they can do what they did in the preseason out here in the LaLiga division, then I'm sure these two players could be vital players for the whole season coming up. Also, one thing to mention, Leo Roman starting out here today, who also impressed a lot of people, I think, in the preseason. He made some very big saves, and he is starting out here today too. Usually we would have in net by the names of Dominic Graef. Of course, there's been a lot of controversy with the name of Dominic Graef. A lot of people believing he was to take an exit from the club, but he is still here. And with Real Mallorca signing a new goalkeeper, Lucas Bergström, the Finland under-21 goalkeeper playing for Chelsea, that Real Mallorca have signed, there was a lot of rumors, a lot of word going around that Dominic Graef, wasn't going to be playing for this Real Mallorca squad out here this season, but he is still here. Of course, Leo Roman is starting in this matchup out here today, and in the preseason, we didn't get to see much of Dominic Graef at all. So by the looks of it, looks like our main goalkeeper this season is going to be Leo Roman, and for every Real Mallorca fan that's been watching last season, they do know how much of a good goalkeeper Leo Roman is. He's a very impressive name, and I think Real Mallorca are very lucky to have him. Now, if we're talking about comparing the two sides, who's had the better preseason, Real Mallorca, out of their 4 preseason matches, the tour they had out in Austria, they only managed to win 2 out of 4, drawing 1 and losing 1. Whereas Barcelona, on the other hand, did win all of their 4 preseason matches. But again, as I mentioned, I think the preseason a lot of times doesn't really mean a lot. I think you see a lot of teams do very well in the preseason, and then at the start of the La Liga division, they don't do as well. I just think the preseason, it doesn't exactly mean that that's how the team is going to do in the La Liga division. Now, if we look last time out for Barcelona in the La Liga division, their last match, they did face up against Atletico Bilbao. That was the last match of the La Liga division last season. And that was at the San Mamés Stadium, where the visiting side did take home the 3 points, winning 0-3, with Lewandowski scoring 2 goals in the first half, and then Dani Olmo scoring out in the 90th minute. So that was the last time out for Barcelona in the La Liga division, with a big win, I would argue, playing away against a side like that, at a stadium like that. Definitely not an easy result. Luckily, Lewandowski scored 2 goals in that match, and Lewandowski is actually out here today. He's not in the starting lineup nor on the bench because he has picked up an injury. So he's going to be out for this Barcelona side. And not only Lewandowski, Ter Stegen and Daniel Rodriguez are also all out, missing for this Barcelona squad, all injured. So quite a few missing players there for Barcelona. Of course, a team like this, the depth, it goes far low. When they're missing one, they always have a number to replace. So again, Robert Lewandowski, the top main man last season for Barcelona, the goal scorer last season for Barcelona, with 27 goals to his name, actually, ending in second place, the second place for the maximum goal scorer of the competition. I mean, 27 goals, it's a high amount of number of goals, so he's a very dangerous threat. Luckily for Real Mallorca, again, out injured, out missing here today. But with the new signing of Marcus Rashford, they do have a replacement, for example, for striker, Marcus Rashford, the top striker in Europe, now at this Barcelona squad. He's not actually starting. They actually have Ferran Torres starting up front. But again, also a very big name, also a very dangerous threat. So this Barcelona squad depth just keeps on going no matter how many injuries they pick up. So either way, you have to take into consideration that they're still a very, very, very dangerous side. Now, we're going to talk about the last season for Real Mallorca. They did manage to finish, in case you missed it, 10th place with 48 points. Just sitting 4 points away from European football. A very, very good season, I would argue, for Real Mallorca. For everyone that was there, that watched that Real Mallorca side go on last season, it was, I would argue, a very magical season, you know, for a team like Real Mallorca to get 48 points, to just be 4 points away from European football, you know. It's so, so impressive. In the last 2 to 3 years for Real Mallorca have just been astonishing. I think any Real Mallorca fan, player, manager could be very proud with what the club has done within the last 2 to 3 years. And again, hopefully, you know, we do wish for the same this season going in. Of course, it's not going to be easy. They've been very consistent within the last 2 to 3 years, getting in that top 10 every time, and even getting to a Copa del Rey final, doing lots of wonders. But again, you know, to keep on doing that in the first division of Spanish League football, they still have to keep up the consistency. I think they have kept a lot of players. When we're comparing the lineup this year to last year, pretty much all of it is almost the same, except for there's a few new additions to help push on the squad. You know, very good additions. We have the likes of Pablo Torre, again, who's playing against his former club out here today. We also have the names of Mateo Joseph, the player that Real Mallorca just got on loan, who plays for the under-21 Leeds squad and the under-21 Spanish national team squad. So again, what a name that is to help push this Real Mallorca team on forward. Again, and many, many more names on there. You know, we've had players that have signed new contracts. And again, we just have pretty much almost the same squad. We also have a lot of new youngsters to help push on this squad. You know, last year we got to see Marc Dominic and Jan Salas make their debuts in this senior squad. And some of them played a lot of minutes in the preseason, and some of them are going to be playing this season out here too for them. And not just them, we also have another youngster who's been promoted to the senior squad, and that is Ilese Salhi, the 18-year-old French winger, yes, just at the age of 18, who's been promoted up to the senior squad this preseason, and by the looks of it, he's here on the bench today, so hopefully for the rest of the season. So many, many new names to help push on this Real Mallorca squad, but lots of familiar faces as well. So there's definitely competition. There's definitely going to be a lot of players competing to earn, you know, their spot in the team. There's so many names. But again, they're just going to have to earn it if they want to be starting in this Real Mallorca squad. Again, as I said, there's lots of competition. There's lots of names, lots of youngsters, and lots of new signings. Now, if we talk about last season for Barcelona, they did finish first place in the LaLiga division with 88 points, meaning they won the LaLiga division title for the 28th time in history. So, again, we're facing the biggest team here. It doesn't get any better than this. I mean, 28th La Liga division titles. This is a team that is used to winning. We're talking 5 Champions League Cups. We're talking 32 Copa del Reyes, 15 Spanish Super Cups, 3 FIFA Club World Cups, and many, many more. So, you know, when it comes to winning, when it comes to getting first place, when it comes to racking up points, Barcelona is there. Of course, there are other names out there, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, but again, this is just going to be one of the toughest opponents of the season. And, you know, last season out, they got the first place with 88 points. So that just tells you the type of squad they are. I mean, if you aren't familiar with this Barcelona squad, where are you? You know, what are you doing? Anyways, we're going to talk about the last time these two sides did face each other. And that was all the way back out in April at the Lluís Companys Stadium, where the home side did keep home the 3 points with Dani Olmo scoring the winner in the 46th minute to win the match 1-0. So, to be fair, I would argue a very good result for, you know, Real Mallorca, going out to that Barcelona's home at the Lluís Companys Stadium and only losing 1-0, only conceding 1 goal, I would argue it's definitely not a bad result when you're talking about, the group leaders, who, a team that's getting 88 points, a team that's competing in the top European competitions and almost winning them. I would definitely argue it's not a bad result. So, we'll see if they can pull off the same result out here today. If you do take a look at the screen, if you have your screen open, you can take a look at the highlights from some of the Real Mallorca preseason matches. This particular one you see on screen here was up against Poblense, another Mallorcan side, where Real Mallorca did get the win, winning 2-0 out here. It was Takuma Asano who did deflect the header in. And then, as I was mentioning earlier, also, this is the matchup that he had up against Hamburg at the Son Moss Stadium to compete for the Ciutat de Palma trophy, where Real Mallorca did keep that trophy at home, winning 2-0, with Takuma Asano scoring the first goal. As you can see here, Mateo Jaume just puts in a lovely cross, and then Muriqi just gets his head on it. And I'm not quite sure if the pass is intentional or not, but he just leaks it to Takuma Asano, and all he has to do is put it away. And I think Takuma Asano is another name that Real Mallorca are really, really going to be depending on this season. I think last season it was a bit disappointing for him and for the fans, as we didn't get to see much of him because I think he lacked a bit of confidence. He also kept on picking up a lot of injuries. It was very unfortunate for him. But he is a player with plenty of quality on his feet, and hopefully we do get to see a bit more of him out here this season. As there's lots of players that we do want to see more from out here this season. There's Muriqi, as you can see, another man who has decided to stay in this club and renovate his trophy. And there's the Ciutat de Palma trophy that Real Mallorca did manage to lift up. So it's something you love to see. Plenty of familiar faces in that Real Mallorca squad there, and also plenty of new ones. So we'll see what this Real Mallorca squad can offer, and we'll see what's going to be on the table this season. Now, we're going to talk about the last time that Real Mallorca played up against Barcelona here at the Son Moss Stadium, and that was all the way back in December 2024. Where in fact the visiting side did take home the 3 points, winning 1-5, with Muriqi scoring the only goal in that matchup. So the last time Barcelona did come here, it was an unfortunate result. I'm sure it's the result that many Mallorquinistas did not expect. It's a poor performance from Real Mallorca. And again, if they want to prove a point out here today, if they want to make an impact at the start of this La Liga division, we're not saying they need to beat this Barcelona side, but they need to put in a camp performance. They can't lose 1-5 like last time out, like the last time Barcelona came here at the Son Moss Stadium. As I definitely think Real Mallorca are a better squad than that to be losing, that heavier result to a team like that at their own ground. Now, we're going to look at the maximum goal scores for Real Mallorca last season, and that was actually split between two players. It was actually split between Vedan Muriqi and Kyle Larin, who are both the maximum goal scorers for Real Mallorca last season with 7 goals to their name. Now, as we know, Vedan Muriqi is here to stay. He's even starting in this front lineup out here today as striker, but, Kyle Larin, that's been a very, very controversial name, I think, for Real Mallorca this season. There's been a lot of rumors that he was going to take an exit of the club, that he's going to be leaving this summer, but he's still here, and now he's decided that he is going to put his focus into Real Mallorca. So despite the controversy between Kyle Larin and Real Mallorca, he has decided to stay, and he is here to help push on this team forward. And when he does play well, he can be a very important name. He can be a very important player because, as you can see, he got the maximum goal scorer last season for Real Mallorca. Now, if you do take a look at the screen here, you can see one of our correspondents interviewing some of these fans out here, getting their opinion on this season. And I think a lot of fans arguing over the same thing. This fan is saying here that as long as they don't get relegated, I think that's already a good season for Real Mallorca. He's also mentioning how hot it is and how the players shouldn't be playing at this time during the day, as it is a whopping 36 degrees Celsius out here today, even at this time, even at 7:30 when the sun has gone down slightly. It's still very hot out here in Mallorca. So again, it's going to be a very, very hot one for both of these sides. And this fan is clearly putting out his statement on how he's not happy of it. He's also talking about how it's very unfortunate that Samu Costa did have to go out injured, but at least they do have Antonio Sanchez to replace him. Again, it's one thing I mentioned, this Real Mallorca squad has lots of competition this year, has lots of players, so we'll see. You know, these players, they're going to have to earn their place in this squad. So we'll see if some of them are up for doing so. Again, as I did say, I think in the preseason, they were missing a lot of courage. And we're going to get the words from one of the owners of Real Mallorca. So far, there's been a record of over 23,000 members of the Real Mallorca squad. How do you feel about it? You know, we need as much people as we can get out here today. You know, it's the only way we can push each other forward is for everyone to show up. Every season, we've really been growing as members out here in the Real Mallorca community. We just need to be together, work hard, and I'm sure things will turn out good. So, talking about it out here today, 3 seasons so far this year. How do you feel Real Mallorca have done with the squad? I think it's good. I think it's going to help push the team on forward. You know, we want to be up there. We want to be competing a lot. And in order to do that, we need lots of young players to push the team forward. I think it's a very big market out there nowadays. I think we can do even more. I think we make more movements, and hopefully that's what we do. Today we are wearing a different special kit with the brand of Jolpillo. How do you feel about it? Yeah, we've been talking with all these brands to make a collaboration, and we think it looks very good on the shirt. You know, just to do something different. You know, it's a different way to do it. We have the mascot of Taika on the shirt. Thank you very much. So those were the words there from one of the CEOs of Real Mallorca, Alfonso, who gave his thoughts on the new signings of Real Mallorca and the new movements that they have been doing. Again, it's 3 seasons that they have made. It's 3 signings that they have made this season so far. And they've definitely been making a lot of movements, but there still is room to make even more. So hopefully that's what Real Mallorca are going to do. As you can see, still interviewing players outside here today and getting the opinion from some of these players. Just hoping for, he said he's hoping for a penalty, hopefully to take the lead for Real Mallorca. But I think a lot of these fans are feeling a bit skeptical out here today in the heat. As I said, it's about 36 degrees Celsius and facing up against a team like this. I think a lot of these fans are feeling very skeptical. I mean, as they should. He's mentioning how big teams, you know, Real Mallorca capable of doing a lot against big teams. And I just think every fan really out there has sort of the same thought process about, you know, how they are facing one of the biggest teams, but they can still do it if possible. But it's just not going to be easy in this heat facing the leaders from last season. And again, I think and if you did watch the preseason, you know, it was good, but still room for improvement. And I think today's just going to be a very, very big test for Real Mallorca. But again, we have seen Real Mallorca do it before, and they can do it again out here today, despite the heat and despite the team that they are facing. Again, anything is definitely possible. At least for Barcelona, the good thing is that, you know, they are missing Robert Lewandowski, which is going to be a very big advantage for Real Mallorca, missing the maximum goal scorer for their squad. But again, they have plenty of replacements that they can use to replace him. Now, we are going to go on a quick break, and we'll be back very, very shortly. So do not go anywhere, because you're just about 15 minutes away from kickoff, and we'll be back very shortly.
Ya somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
Antonio, al lío.
Bona feina, ben fet.
No ha quedat tan malament.
No.
somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
Antonio, al lío.
Bona feina, ben fet.
No ha quedat tan malament.
No.
Pues mira, estamos ya con uno de los héroes de la historia reciente del Real Club Deportivo Mallorca, Manolo Reina. ¿Qué tal, Manolo? Muy buenas, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, muy buenas, ¿qué tal? Muy bien.
¿Cómo van esas sensaciones prepartidos?
Bueno, muy buena, la verdad que...
We're finally back after that quick break, and now there's just about 10 minutes left to go before kickoff here at the Son Moix Stadium up against this Barcelona side. A very, very tough matchup that Real Mallorca have out here today. The stadium is starting to get very, very full, very packed. Again, as there's just about 10 minutes left to go. And we'll see what this match has to offer for us. But until the meantime, we're going to talk about one or two things until we wait for the referee to come out and for the players to come out of that tunnel for the match to get on the way. In the meantime, we're going to look at the last face-to-face, the last 5 matchups between these two sides. Matters of fact that Real Mallorca haven't won a single one. Barcelona have won 4 of them, and one of them was a draw. Real Mallorca haven't won any of the last 3 between these two sides, but they've not been terrible results. Most of them have been 1-0, 1-0, and 1-5, unfortunately, for Real Mallorca. But again, it's not been terrible results against them. And in this Barcelona squad, if we're looking at the stats of some of these players for last season, you have names like Lamine Yamal with 9 goals and 15 assists, actually getting the most assists in the LaLiga division. You have Rafinha with 18 goals, 11 assists, so plenty of big names. Then if we look at this Real Mallorca side, of course, they do have names like Dani Rodriguez with 7 assists and 4 goals, Sergi Derder with 6 assists and 2 goals. And then, of course, Guy Larin and Bram Moriki both with 7 goals. So, between these two sides, individually, a lot of impressive names between these two sides. And then, of course, one thing that we were talking about before is Guy Larin, Pablo Maffeo, and Dominic Gray, 3 players that are looking like most likely to take an exit from Real Mallorca. But up until now. They are still here. There's still a bit of the transfer window to go, but for now, they are still here in this Real Mallorca squad, but most likely to be taking an exit, that is the word. But we'll see if they do decide here to stay and help push their team on. For me, they are three players that were very important last season. You know, Pablo Maffeo was definitely one of my favorite right backs in the whole league. You know, the way he defended individually against the big names, he was one of my favorites. But by the looks of it, he might be taking an exit from this Real Mallorca squad. Now we're just about 7 minutes away from kickoff, so do not go anywhere, because we're going to get on the way very, very soon. And one other interesting fact that I think we should talk about is how last season, how much Real Mallorca struggled to score goals. I think it's something, especially in the second half of the season, it's something that Real Mallorca really, really lacked. Was on the offensive, making the most of their chances. They were very good at building up the plays, but when it came down to putting the ball in the back of the net, it's just something that they really, really struggled with. And that's something that they really need to improve this season. Hopefully with the likes of the new signing of Pablo Torre, who's playing on the left wing, we will see if he can help push that on forward. Now, looking at the last 5 matches from Real Mallorca, most of them being the preseason, how many goals have Real Mallorca scored within the last 5 matches? They've actually scored 5 goals in the last 5 matches. But on the other hand, if you look for Barcelona, they have scored 23 goals in the last 5 matches. Yes, 23 goals. So again, a very, very, very dangerous offensive side. And if you look at the numbers from their offensive players, it doesn't surprise you. Either way, we're just about 6 minutes away from kickoff. We'll be back very, very shortly. So do not go anywhere, because we are about to undergo the way.
Ya somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
Antonio, al lío. Bona feina, ben fet.
No ha quedat tan malament.
No.
somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
And now we are back after that quick break, and we're just any minute away now from kicking off. We have the players lining up here in this Real Mallorca squad and in this Barcelona squad, and the atmosphere in here, it's just getting crazy. You can see the stadium absolutely filled up, and you can see this Real Mallorca squad holding together, holding each other close. And you can see both of these sides getting ready for the referee to blow his whistle. There's Pablo Torre wearing the number 20 for Real Mallorca. Number 7, it's Muriqui for Real Mallorca. And many, many more in this Real Mallorca squad. And just any second away now from kicking off here at the San Marcos Stadium. There's Jacob Arrasate, the Real Mallorca manager, who I'm sure is feeling the nerves out here today. And now just any minute away from kicking off, and the referee blows his whistle, and we do undergo on the way. And again, a big test out here for Real Mallorca. And we have a lot to see from this Real Mallorca squad and this Barcelona squad. Now Mateo Jaume. Back to Valgent, who's going to give it back to Mateo Jaume. Now Leo Roman with possession of the ball. He's going to try and play it up forward as this Barcelona side put on the pressure. Barcelona in the light green and Real Mallorca in the red and black. Luckily for these players, the sun has gone down a bit. Again, as I did mention, it's 36 degrees Celsius out here today in Palma de Mallorca. So I'm sure these players are feeling the heat. And I think today, the objective for Real Mallorca is maybe to analyze the performance more than the result, I would say. As they're coming from a decent preseason. Not the best preseason they've ever had, but it was decent enough. And I just think to start the LaLiga division at home against a team like this, I think the result is important, but I think it's more important that Real Mallorca putting a good performance and play well as a team. I think for me, that would be the objective of today if I was Jacob Arrasate. So we'll see what either of these sides can do for their squad. And now Lamine doing very well to get past this man, trying to put in the low cross, but Leo Roman saves it. And Real Mallorca clearing the ball instantly. And what a dangerous chance that was there from Lamine Yamal. And what a talent the kid is. Look here, it's Mojica just trying to defend him. Lamine Yamal in the 10 doing so well to skip past Mojica. And what a challenge he is going to be here to defend. Pablo Torre also doing very well to get his foot in there. Now Balde. And Barcelona now hold possession of the ball in Real Mallorca's half of the pitch. The referee decides to not blow his whistle and let it continue. Lamine Yamal's going to hold. He's going to play it back to Araujo. And now Cubarsí is going to take it forward. Cubarsí playing it into Balde. Now Rafinha doing very well. And in this Barcelona squad, there's just so many talents. And so many young players. They have so much promise in this squad. Now doing very well to play it out wide here into Rafinha. He tries putting in a pass, but it's no good. And now Muriqi tries to turn around. He can't keep hold of it. Now Barcelona have possession of the ball again. And I just think Real Mallorca need to play more in the defensive zone and then maybe break on the counterattacks. Trying to play it out wide to Lamine. But Mojica was there to clear it. Now the ball goes all the way back to Joan Garcia, the new signing for Barcelona, who almost saved about 3 penalties last season up against Real Mallorca when he was playing at Espanyol. And we've seen it live, directly on this channel, that he is a very, very impressive goalkeeper. And now trying to play a free ball into Ferran, who gets taken down, but the referee says nothing. And Antonio Rayo did well to challenge him, but now Lamine picking up the rebound. Mojica defending very well. And so far, Barcelona starting off very strong, looking for that goal directly. Now Antonio Sanchez, who plays it into Mateo Jaume. Now Manu Morlanes. This play, they just keep on switching it from side to side. Referee blows his whistle and stops the play. Offside, I believe. Just trying to play it out wide to Johan Mojica, but he's just stepping offside. Taking a look at the replay here. Lamine Yamal trying to get past, and it's a lovely tackle there from Mojica. And now Barcelona have a free kick just in their side of the pitch. And so far, Barcelona starting off very strong, but Real Mallorca holding their position very well. Now Takuma Sano's going to try and take it forward himself, but Balde was there to stop him. I'm very excited to see what Takuma Sano has to offer this season for this Real Mallorca squad, as we didn't get to see much of him last season due to him picking up quite a few bit of injuries, and it just looks like he lacked a bit of confidence too. So we're glad to see him back, and hopefully he can help put in more in this Real Mallorca squad now. Trying to play it into Ferran, but Mojica was there. Trying to play a through ball down the left-hand side, but they just give it right back to Barcelona. Barcelona just holding possession of it. It's Lamine Yamal who tries putting in the cross into that second post. And he does put in the cross right into Rafinha, who heads it in the back of the net. And now Barcelona lead here at the Son Moix Stadium. Within the first few minutes, Barcelona have already taken the lead. And it was Lamine Yamal who puts in the cross into Rafinha. And all he has to do is just put it in the back of the net, just get on target, and that's what he does. And now, first few minutes in here at the Son Moix Stadium, and Real Mallorca leading 1-0. Within the first 7 minutes, take a look at the replay here. Lamine Yamal, what cross that is there from the number 10. But Rafinha, just look at how much room he has. There's just no one on him. And Mateu Jaume just completely forgets that Rafinha's there. He has so much room. And the finish is lovely. All he has to do, it falls right to his head. All he has to do is place it. And again, Rafinha just had far too much room. It was a lovely cross by Lamine. But Rafinha definitely should have had more pressure on him onto that second post. But first 8 minutes in here now. And Barcelona lead here at the Son Moix Stadium. And Rafinha gets the first goal. And look at Barcelona playing that offside trap as they have been doing all of last season, and we've seen it work again and again and again. Now Mojica looking for Muriqi there. Just too much height on that cross, and Joan Garcia leaps up and gets his hands on it. And it looks like the referee blowed his whistle and awards a yellow card to Mateu Jaume, who just committed the foul there on Rafinha. Taking a look at the replay here is Joan Garcia. He just leaps up to get it. And it just looks like Barcelona were trying to break on the counterattack. Mateu Jaume takes him out. And for doing so, he picks up the yellow card. Now Balde he's going to play it back to Cubarsí. And so far, this Barcelona squad looking very, very sharp. And Real Mallorca need to start focusing up, start waking up a bit more if they don't want this lead to slip massively. And again, there's only a 1-goal difference at the minute. But Real Mallorca really start to need to compose if they don't want the lead to get even bigger for Barcelona. Now here's Lamine, who's going to try and play it into Fermin. Fermin does get past his man. He tries to put in the cross. But it's cleared there. Fermin, he was just looking for Ferran Torres there. Real Mallorca do well to clear it, and Pablo Torres does very well to get the free kick for Real Mallorca. The former Barcelona player, there he is. Turns around. Now Araujo, he just takes him out. Now Real Mallorca have a free kick just in Barcelona's half of the pitch. And so far, a very, very strong start for this Barcelona squad. Now Real Mallorca playing it all the way back to the man between the sticks. Leo Roman is going to play into Raio. Switched out to Mateo Jaume. Into Valgent. It's a good play here from Real Mallorca. Very, very good play to come from at the back. Now here's Darder. Sergi Darder, what can he do? Tries playing it through. Looking for Mateo Jaume there. But he was just cut out by Barcelona. And what a play that was there from Sergi Darder. Almost a lovely pass. But Pedri did well to recover the ball there for Barcelona. Taking a look at the replay here. It's a good play from Barcelona. But the counter-attack there from Real Mallorca was very, very dangerous. There's a look at that first goal again and the way he just crosses it in. And Rafinha, he's just all on his own. He has so much room and all he has to do is get it on target. And they can't afford to be making mistakes like that, Real Mallorca, if they want to stay in this lead. But again, a good play there from Real Mallorca to play from at the back. And they played very well on the counter-attack. Almost creating a very dangerous chance. Just proving it's not offside there. Yeah, it's clearly not offside. And I just think Mateo Jaume just forgets his man. Forgets that Rafinha's in there behind him. And with a player like Rafinha on the left wing, you can't keep your eyes off of him, or he can be so dangerous. And I just think the approach for this match for Real Mallorca is to just hold back more, as when they do play as a solid defensive pact, they're so hard to score against. And if they can do that and then just break on the counterattacks. Now Rafinha trying to put in the cross. Looking for Ferran. It's cleared by Real Mallorca, but Lamine Yamal picks up the rebound. And Lamine Yamal taking it all the way himself. Tries to dribble maybe a bit too much there. He loses it. Muriqi gets taken down there. It's going to be a free kick for Real Mallorca. And the fans in this San Martin Stadium whistling. Claiming the yellow card maybe. Take a look at the replay here. He just gets taken down there by Araujo by the looks of it. Then Luke de Jong slightly pushes him down too. But he is back up on his feet and he will be okay. Now Mallorca with possession of the ball. Holding it so far very well, and it's good play here by Real Mallorca to play it up forward. And now playing a through ball into Mojica. He plays into Muriqi, who tries to lay it off. But no one was there to get to it. And what a chance that was there for Real Mallorca. And it could have been so dangerous. What a chance that was there. Muriqi, he just flicks it backwards. Not quite sure why he's not taking the shot there, Muriqi. And it was a lovely through ball from Darder into Mojica, who puts in the low cross. Then Muriqi has the ball. He just tries to play a little backheel pass, but no one is there behind him. And what a shame, because that was a lovely play there from Real Mallorca. And they need to be making the most of those occasions. It was a lovely play there from Real Mallorca. I'm just not sure if Muriqi had an angle to take the shot off or not. Maybe he backheeled it because he couldn't quite get the shot on. We'll take a look at the replay after. But for now, Barcelona have possession. And holding it in Real Mallorca's half of the pitch. And so far, this Real Mallorca squad is definitely still in this match. Despite conceding so early on, they're still looking good. And now 16 minutes in here now in this matchup. It's been a very good start to the match from both of these sides. And we do know that this Barcelona squad, when it comes to scoring goals, they know how to do it very, very well. But on the other hand, I think this Real Mallorca squad, usually a better side when it comes to playing defense. We did see last season Real Mallorca struggle quite a bit when it comes to scoring goals. They have brought in quite a few additions, hopefully to help push on the team to be a bit better offensively. But so far they have had one or two good chances. They just couldn't get the shot on target yet. But there's still plenty of time to go in this match, and the ball's going to go all the way out to Lamine Yamal on the right-hand side. And it's Lamine up against Mojica. Lamine takes it in forward, puts the cross into the second post. Rafinha tried to get there, but couldn't quite reach it. And now Balde has it. Balde's going to try and put in the cross. Leo Roman leaps up and gets his hands on the ball. And we can just see how skillful these Barcelona wingers are. Every time they can take the 1v1, they do, and they're just so quick with their feet. But Real Mallorca doing well to defend it. Now Mateo Jaume's going to try and play it forward. Muriqi picks it up. Muriqi gets taken down. It's going to be a free kick here for Real Mallorca. And so far, Real Mallorca starting to look a bit better as Araujo again committing the foul on Muriqi. And now the referee needs to start keeping an eye on Araujo, as that's the second foul he's committed on Muriqi in a row. And you can see Jaco Arrasate is not happy with the referee. Now, what ball that is there into Mojica. Now Mojica can do something with it. Mojica is just trying to dribble past this man. He ends up committing the foul as he takes down Eric Garcia. And Mojica just tried to take it on himself. Here's a look again at that chance from earlier. What ball that is there into Mojica. He plays into Muriqi. And I'm not quite sure why Muriqi just isn't taking the shot himself there. It was a good idea. He tries to lay it off, but there's just no one there. But either way, it's a positive play from Real Mallorca. And I think that's all that matters for now. And now Barcelona have possession of the ball and they can take it forward. The ball goes out of play. Lamine Yamal can't make the most of it. It's going to be a throw in here for Real Mallorca. Taking a look at the replay here. This was the out of bounds that came from the first goal. As you can see, it doesn't quite go out. So they didn't disallow the goal. Now here's Mateo Jaume, can take it forward. He's going to step back and play it back into Martin Valgent. Martin Valgent trying to play a through ball, and he does so well. And now Real Mallorca could have a chance here. Trying to put in the low cross. And the ball goes out for a corner kick here. And Real Mallorca get the first corner kick of this matchup for their side. And what a chance that was there for Real Mallorca now. 20 minutes in here now. Real Mallorca are going to take their first corner kick of this match. And can they make anything from this? You can see that Muriqi maybe getting ready to leap up and get his head on it. Hopefully they can make something from this. Now taking the corner kick into that second post. They do get a head on it. Trying to go for the bicycle kick. They couldn't make anything from it. And now Barcelona could break on the counterattack as Lamine. He does end up losing it. The ball's just going all over the place. It does fall to Real Mallorca. Muriqi gets the shot off. And it's a poor shot there by Vedat Muriqi. It goes right into the hands of Joan Garcia. And what a chance that was there for Real Mallorca. And had everyone on their feet. The pirate Vedat Muriqi had the chance to equalize. And he just couldn't get the shot off how he wanted it to. And what a crazy first 20 minutes it's been here so far. This match has really been back to back. And again, what a shame that Muriqi couldn't make the most of that. He had the chance, he had the ball. All he had to do was get a good shot off. And Real Mallorca could have equalized there. Now trying to play through ball into Mojica. Can he get there? Eric Garcia does get there first. And what a crazy and intense first 20 minutes we've had so far. And the balls just keep on going side to side. Here's Lamine Yamal, who tries to take the shot off. And it looks like the referee stops the play. And I'm not quite sure what just happened there. Not quite sure what's happened. Barcelona took the shot off, but I believe the referee stopped the play before that. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Take a look at the replay here. Let's just take a look to see what happened. Lamine, he does get the shot off. Antonio Rio blocks it. He goes down, as it does hit him on the head, so it is a head injury. And usually on these type of plays, the referee has to stop the play due to head injury. But I'm not quite sure if the referee blew his whistle or not. And then Ferran took the shot off. And we're going to find out now. And I'm not quite sure what's going on. But Ferran Torres took the shot off. Either way. And everyone is confused to know if the goal has been allowed or not, as everyone just stopped moving. And the goal is going to stand for Barcelona. And what a bizarre moment. What has just happened there? And it's going to be a goal for Ferran Torres. And I'm not quite sure. Everyone just stops, as you can see. Everyone stops playing there. Ferran Torres, either way, gets the ball. He gets the shot off. But Antonio Reyes on the ground with his hands on his head, as the ball hit him quite hard in the head. And usually, due to head injury, due to the rules, the referee has to stop the play. But he didn't stop the play. And what is going on here? This has definitely been the most bizarre 20 minutes in football. And what way to start the first match of the league. You can see Jacob Arrasate talking to the referee. Obviously, Jacob Arrasate is absolutely furious. And I'm not quite sure how that goal has managed to stand. But the referee has awarded the goal, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And Jacob Arrasate does pick up a yellow card for arguing. But what a ridiculous goal that they've been awarded there. And what a bizarre first few minutes we've had in this match. 25 minutes in here now. So just 20 minutes left to go. And now Muriqi's through. He has a chance here. Plays it back. Taking the shot off. And again, it's just another poor shot by Real Mallorca. And Takuma Sano. Looks like he was onside. And how many chances are Real Mallorca going to have? Again, another big chance. But it's just a poor shot by Takuma Sano. And now Barcelona lead here. 2-0 at the Son Moix Stadium. and no one can quite understand what is going on, especially with that second goal that's been given. And we've had a very, very confusing last few minutes. And if you didn't quite understand what just happened, let me put it into context for you. Lamine Yamal takes the shot off. Antonio Rayo blocks the shot with his head. He goes down on the ground with his hands on his head, looking like quite hurt. Ferran Torres picks up the rebound. He takes the shot off. Everyone stops playing. As Antonio Rayo's on the ground, everyone stops playing, confused. Either way, Ferran Torres took the shot off. The ball went in and the referee let the goal stand. But usually when it's due to head injuries, you have to stop the play. That's the official ruling. But the referee didn't stop the play. And it forced Real Mallorca to give a goal away. And if you didn't understand, that's exactly what happened there in that sequence. And you can see the frustration in this Matchday stadium. All the fans still booing the referee. And what a confusing last few minutes we've just had. But either way, the goal is going to stand. And now Real Mallorca have possession of it. It's Mojica. He plays it into Antonio Sanchez. Antonio Sanchez is going to play a lovely through ball. Into Takuma, into Mateo Jaume. And he just gets a poor touch there. There it is again. Look at the replay. You can see Antonio Rayo on the ground there. And there's where Ferran picks up the rebound and takes the shot off. The goal definitely shouldn't be standing. It definitely should not be standing. But either way, the referee let it stand. And I'm not quite sure how the play wasn't stopped there. And now the players are going to take a quick hydration break, as it is a heavy 34 degrees Celsius out there today. But again, still can't quite get over what's just happened. And what a dramatic first half we're having so far in this matchup. 28 minutes in here now. So just about 16 minutes left to go before the end of the first half, and Barcelona winning 2-0, but Real Mallorca have looked very, very good within the last 10 minutes. They've had quite a few chances. They just can't make the most of them. And it's such a shame, as they have had a chance to score 1 or 2 goals here, Real Mallorca, but they just couldn't put the shots away. But this Real Mallorca squad is definitely still in this match. And there's still plenty of minutes left to go. There's that first goal originally. You can see Lamine just puts the cross into that second post. And Rafinha, he's just all on his own. He has so much room. All he has to do is get the shot on target. But either way, apart from the result, I actually think Real Mallorca don't deserve the result right now. I think they've been playing very well. And it's a shame that they are losing 2-0. And I can still hear, you can still hear the whistles going around at the stadium, as everyone is still very frustrated with that second goal. And now the play is going to undergo here again. It's Balde who's going to take the throw in. Now Balde takes the throw in. And I'm getting word that Ferran Torres was actually telling Jacob Arrasate, the Real Mallorca manager, that he didn't see him on the ground hurt. He didn't know. And that Jacob Arrasate's response was, yes, I understand, but it's just not right to do that. And it's just not right for the goal to stand. So that was a quick conversation between Ferran Torres and Jacob Arrasate talking about the controversial goal for Barcelona. Either way, Mateo Jama takes the throw in looking for Muriqi. He can't find him, and now Barcelona try and break on the counterattack. The referee awards the free kick. As Frankie de Jong gets taken down there by Muriqi. And there it is again. You could just see him go down. Plenty of time goes by before Ferran takes the shot off. So the referee sees it, but he just doesn't stop the play. And for me, it's absolutely ridiculous that he doesn't stop the play, as the ball hits him on the head quite hard. Now Barcelona have possession. Now trying to play it into Rafinha. It's a decent pass from Ferran, and now Mateo Jama almost gets away with it. But Barcelona do well to defend it. Trying to play a long through ball, but Leo Roman was there to cut it out. Lamine Yamal does well to keep hold of it. Now Lamine Yamal's going to take it himself. And how dangerous is he? How many players can he skip by here? He gets taken down. Referee blows his whistle, and it's going to be a yellow card here, I believe, for Johan Mojica. No, but he's actually awarded it to Manu Morlanes. I thought it was Johan Mojica who took him down, but in the end, the referee awarded the yellow card to Manu Morlanes. And we'll take a look at the replay here when we see it. It is Manu Morlanes who does take him down. And how good is Lamine Yamal? How quickly is he to just get through those little gaps and skip past all of him? And Manu Morlanes ends up picking the yellow card. And that was actually Manu Morlanes' second yellow card. I wasn't aware of this, so it's going to be a red card for Manu Morlanes. I wasn't even aware that he had a first yellow card. So that was the second one awarded to Manu Morlanes. I'm not quite sure when he picked up the first one. So Manu Morlanes has now been sent off. And now Real Mallorca are down to 10 men. Now, Manu Morlanes has been sent off, and Barcelona have a very dangerous free kick here. Rafinha and Lamine Yamal both step up to take it. It's Lamine who's going to take it. It goes over the crossbar. It's going to be a goal kick here now for Real Mallorca. I'm just getting word here now that Manu Morlanes never actually had a yellow card before that. He actually got 2 yellow cards. One for committing the foul, and then he got given another one for protesting. So he got sent off. And I think that's a bit harsh from the referee to hand out 2 yellow cards like that back to back. And it didn't look like he protested too bad. And now Muriqi goes up. And it could have been a very dangerous chance, but it's going to be a free kick here for Joan Garcia. And Vedat Muriqi picks up the yellow card. And of course, these Real Mallorca players aren't happy now, as Joan Garcia went down due to a head injury. As that's what Real Mallorca's goal didn't get taken away for, but they got the free kick there. Taking a look at the replay here, Muriqi just leaps up to get it. He just hits him a bit. Doesn't look like a foul to me. He doesn't actually hit him in the head. His foot goes up just to about his thigh. But either way, the referee awards a whistle and awards a yellow card to Muriqi. And I'm not quite sure. I think the referee has been a bit harsh on this Real Mallorca side so far, as I definitely think Real Mallorca have been playing quite well. I just think the referee's been a bit harsh, but either way, there's the original free kick. He does put his foot too high up, which, according to the rules, is always going to be a foul if you put your foot too high up next to a player. But I think a yellow card is just a bit harsh. Now the referee looks like he's going over to the sidelines. And it looks like the referee's going to be taking it to VAR. And it could be a potential red card. Taking a look at the replay. I can't quite see if he does connect with him on his head or not. And we'll see if the referee's going to award it or not. He's just checking the VAR now. And if it does hit him in the head, Vedat Muriqi will be awarded a red card instead of a yellow. And that would be 2 red cards in the first half for Real Mallorca if the referee does decide to award it. And it's going to be a red card here for Vedat Muriqi. And I can't quite believe what I'm seeing in this first half. 38 minutes in, and Real Mallorca have picked up 2 yellow cards. And I can understand why he has picked up a red card, because he does put his foot very close to his face. It's understandable, but I think the first red card for Manu Morlanes, I think it was very harsh. And I think the referee's just been very harsh to Real Mallorca in general in this matchup. As I think Real Mallorca have actually been quite decent in this first half, so it's such a shame for all this to happen now. And now Real Mallorca are down to 8 players, and what ball that is there into Lamine. Now Lamine, he gets the shot off, it's blocked. And it was offside. And I just can't quite believe what's happened in this first half. What a dramatic first half we have had. And it's not the first half that everyone wished for. I think I can speak for everyone when I say that. Two red cards, a red card for Vedat Muriqi and a red card for Manu Morlanes. And now, by the looks of it, Real Mallorca still have chances, but with 2 men less, it's not looking good for Real Mallorca. Just 5 minutes left to go now before the end of the first half. I can imagine that there'll be quite a few minutes added on of extra time. And the referee blows his whistle and awards the free kick to Real Mallorca as Antonio Sanchez gets taken down there. And you could just feel the frustration in this Son Moix Stadium. And you can hear all the fans whistling and booing. And what a disaster of a first half for Real Mallorca. And it's such a shame because they were actually looking quite good, I would say. They had quite a few good build-up chances. They almost scored 1 or 2 goals. They were looking very good. But ever since they got that goal allowed against them, I think Real Mallorca just lost their heads a bit. Now trying to put in the low cross. Nothing comes from it. And the referee awards another yellow card. And this time to Pablo Torre. As he just pulls Balde's shirt there. He is a foul. But the referee awarded a yellow card. Now playing a through ball into Lamine Yamal. He can make something from this. Mojica defending. Real Mallorca defending very well. Johan Mojica clears it, but not quite sure if the referee blew his whistle for the foul or not. Sergi Derder got taken down there. Just gets taken down there, Sergi Derder. And this Real Mallorca squad picking up a heavy amount of yellow and red cards. And I just think this match is completely losing itself. And you can see how upset these Real Mallorca fans are. And what a shame of a first half from Real Mallorca. And with 2 men down and plenty more yellow cards picked up, it's looking like not much is going to come from this result here today. Now playing a through ball. And Barcelona have a chance to take it forward. Trying to put in the low cross. But Real Mallorca defending very well. It was Fermin who tried to make something from it, but either way, Real Mallorca get the throw in. But Barcelona now have possession of the ball. It's Pedri who has it. He's going to play it out to Balde. Back to De Jong. And it's Lamine Yamal. And I'm getting word here from one of our correspondents who's out there with the fans. That the fans, of course, you would think are very, very upset. There's even a kid crying, unfortunately, in the Real Mallorca stand. You've got to feel bad for him, as it's been just a disaster of a first half. And now, 44 minutes in here now, I can imagine 2 or 3 minutes added on. And I can't imagine what it's going to be like in that Real Mallorca dressing room. I definitely wouldn't want to be in there, as I'm sure Jacob Arrasate has a lot of frustration to let out. And of course, now that Muriqi is missing, Real Mallorca are just missing a man up front. A man to put the crosses into, a man to score. And playing with 8 men, it's definitely not going to be easy. Now Lamine Yamal. Dribbling and dribbling here from Lamine. He tries putting in the cross, it's cleared. Real Mallorca do clear it, but the rebound falls right to Barcelona. And can Barcelona get another one before the end of the first half? trying to put in the low cross, not enough power on it. And Real Mallorca kick out. Now Barcelona have the throw in. And I'm sure Jaco Barrasate is feeling so frustrated, so upset the minute, as his team was playing so well up until that second goal was allowed for Barcelona. I think that's when it all just went downhill. I think Real Mallorca lost their head as soon as that happened, and it's just been an absolute disaster ever since. Now Lamine tries taking the shot off. Decent effort there from Lamine Yamal. He just can't seem to get it on target. It's going to be a goal kick here for Real Mallorca. Not long left to go now. And when you're playing against a team like Barcelona, against the leaders of last year's competition and one of the biggest teams in the league, you just can't afford to make mistakes like these. And you especially just can't afford to lose your head. And now Leo Roman taking the goal kick. Lamine Yamal trying to play it forward. Rayo's there to cut it out. And you can just feel the frustration in this stadium and how everyone is feeling. And it's like the vibe all of a sudden was just completely taken down to zero. Everyone was feeling good. Now Frankie de Jong committing the foul there on Johan Mojica. It's going to be a free kick here for Real Mallorca. And in case you did miss it, there has been 7 minutes added on. Again, as quite a lot of things happened in that first half, between the red cards and between the goal deciding to be disallowed. Not only that, then the VAR from Muriqi. And so many things happened in that first half. Unfortunately, all of them against Real Mallorca. Now Sergi Darder trying to make something from it. Gets the throw in. Now Mateo Jaume into Pablo Torre, playing it into Takuma Sano. And a decent little chance, a decent little play from those two. And now it's going to be a corner kick here for Real Mallorca. But with 2 men less and no Muriqi to get his head on it, this Real Mallorca squad will be depending most likely on those 2 centre-backs to get their head on it. Antonio Rayo and Martin Valgent. They're the ones that Barcelona need to watch out for. Now Pablo Torre is going to take the corner kick. Pablo Torre putting it into that first post. Barcelona clear it. They do get their head on it, Real Mallorca. But it just goes over the crossbar. It's a decent effort there from Antonio Sanchez. Just puts too much height on it. The power was there. But again, just too much height. And now Barcelona are going to take it forward. Now it's Frankie de Jong. And now Barcelona. Can they make anything from this? The ball goes out to Lamine. Now Lamine Yamal trying to put in the low cross. Looking for someone in that first post. Antonio Sanchez tries to get away with it. He loses possession in a dangerous area. Now here's Lamine who takes the shot off. And it just goes wide off of that second post. It's going to be a goal kick here for Leo Roman. Leo Roman, also a goalkeeper that we saw who put in amazing performance last time he played against Barcelona. Making a total of 12 saves last time he played against his Barcelona squad. So I'm sure that Barcelona squad remember who he is. Now Leo Roman takes the goal kick. And it's been, to say the least, oh, dangerous foul there. A very, very dangerous foul from Rafinha. And he gets the yellow card. And you could see everybody complaining, claiming a red card as to how harsh it's been for Real Mallorca. And you could just feel how heated it's getting in this stadium. And it should be. It could be a red card. He goes in with 2 feet to wipe him out. And it could have been very dangerous there from Rafinha. But either way, the referee just awards the yellow kick. Now yellow card for Rafinha. And Real Mallorca are going to take the free kick. There's not long left to go. A very dangerous free kick there on Mateu Jaume. And Real Mallorca take the free kick, but as they do, the referee blows the halftime whistle. And Kako Arrasate walking straight into that locker room. And you can see already some of those Real Mallorca players talking to Rafinha. And you can already see it getting heated here from the foul from Rafinha as he went in with 2 feet. And it's been a very, very heated first half. Plenty of red cards and yellow cards have been shown. Real Mallorca are 2 men down. Vedan Muriqi and Manu Morlanes have both been sent off in this first half. And also, a very unfortunate second goal conceded for Real Mallorca, as there was a potential head injury on Antonio Rayo, but the referee didn't blow his whistle. He let the play continue. And Ferran Torres got the goal as everyone else stopped the play to make sure Antonio Rayo was okay, but the referee allowed the goal to stand. And what a dramatic first half we've had so far. Real Mallorca, they were playing so well in the first half, so it's just so disappointing. I think every Real Mallorca fan can agree with me. It was very, very good from Real Mallorca. The build-up play was excellent. They had 1 or 2 chances. It's poor shots, I think, when it comes to building up the chances. But either way, they were playing very good, and defensively it was sharp. But ever since they just conceded that second goal, they just completely lost their heads, as they were very upset with the goal standing. And then ever since then on, everything just started to get crazy. I think the red card on Manu Morlanes was very, very harsh. Manu Morlanes, he got sent off. He got a yellow card for committing the foul on Lamine, and then he got another one right after for protesting. And I think the red card from Vedan Muriqi is understandable. If you put your feet up to this level, it can be very dangerous. So I think the red card on Muriqi, it's harsh, but you know, it's understandable. But I just think on Manu Morlanes, it shouldn't have been a red card. And look at that chance there from Muriqi. It's just such a shame, because they were looking so good again. They just had quite a few chances, very few dangerous ones. And they're only losing 1-0, and they're definitely still in the match. But I think now the way it is, with quite a few yellow cards, and with 2 men less, it's going to be a very, very, very big challenge for Real Mallorca to stay in this match, even not to concede 1 goal. Because again, they have 2 men less. And it's just such a disappointing first half. I think every Real Mallorca fan can agree with me. It's been harsh on them. I just think it's been so unfortunate with the refereeing and the red cards and the yellow cards. I don't quite think it's anyone's fault. It's just very unfortunate. But either way, we're going to go on a quick break, and we'll be back very soon for the second half what a crazy first half we've been, but do not go anywhere because we still have the whole of the second half to go, and let's see if Real Mallorca can make anything from this. We'll be back very shortly.
Ya somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
Antonio, al lío.
Bona feina, ben fet.
No ha quedat tan malament.
No.
Ya somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
ben fet.
No ha quedat tan malament.
No.
Ya somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
Antonio, al lío.
Bona feina, ben fet.
No ha quedat tan malament.
No.
somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
Antonio, al lío. Bona feina, ben fet. No ha quedat tan malament. No.
And we're back after that quick break, ready for this second half of this matchup. After, well, to say the least, a very, very interesting first half. In case you did miss it, 2 red cards handed out to Real Mallorca. Vedan Muriqi and Manu Morales both have been sent off. And much more happened also in that first half. But before I mention that, I just have to mention out that there's been 2 substitutes made. Dani Olmo is going to be coming on here for Fermin. And Mateo Joseph is going to be making his debut here for Real Mallorca, the player who's come on loan from Leeds United. And also plays for the under-21 Spanish national team. Has just come on. Unfortunately, he's picked one of the trickiest matches to make his debut. With only 8 men on the pitch, Real Mallorca. And already 2-0 down. It's not going to be the debut he expected, but either way, he's here. And now he's been subbed on. And the referee blows his whistle directly. We are on the way. And at this point, you can't expect much from Real Mallorca. You can't expect a result. But the least they can do, I think, is just play. Is to play for their dignity, to show that they really care, to show that they want to put in a performance. Obviously, with 2 men down, again, there's not much they can actually do, but they just have to give it their all now and hope for the best. By the looks of it, I didn't actually see or notice it, but Daniel Rodriguez also came on for Real Mallorca. So that's 2 substitutes that's been made by Real Mallorca. And by the looks of it, some Barcelona players also going to warm up, quite a few of them. Marcus Rashford alongs the name of these Barcelona players, who's yet to make his LaLiga debut for this Barcelona squad. And now Barcelona getting the ball back, playing it through into Lamine. Lamine tries to put in the low cross. What a block that is there. And either way, the flag has gone up and it was offside. Just offside there, Lamine Yamal, who tried playing in the short ball. And it was very well blocked there by Real Mallorca. And again, as I mentioned earlier, Dani Rodriguez and Mateo Joseph both came on. But not just them, Omar Mascarell also got subbed on. So that's 3 substitutions that Real Mallorca have made going in to the second half. And so far, Barcelona have only made 1, bringing on Dani Olmo. And I'm sure they're going to make plenty more. These fans are still here, supporting their team, pushing their team on forward. Which, of course, are things you love to see, because we need the fans to back this team on forward. After a performance like this, though, it must be very disappointing for those fans. You cannot understand their frustration, but I do have to say, I don't think it's entirely the squad's fault. I think they've been very unfortunate in this match with that very controversial goal that was given. And then the red cards. I think it's been an unfortunate first match of the LaLiga division, but I definitely think that shouldn't make them put their heads down. Lamine Yamal trying to cut in and take it in the shot of his left foot, trying to curl it in to that top left corner, but he just puts too much height on it. Now it's going to be a goal kick here for Real Mallorca, for Leo Roman. And just get used to seeing that, I think, for the rest of the minutes. As I think Barcelona is just going to have complete possession, complete control of the match now. And all Real Mallorca can do is just hold on to that same lead and try not to concede. You can see some of the Barcelona players warming up because they're going to make some substitutions soon. And despite the bad performance and everything, at least we do see Mateo Joseph making his debut for Real Mallorca. It's not going to be the one he wanted or the one he wished for. Most likely he's not going to get many chances on the ball, but either way, he's here to make his debut. And now Barcelona out to Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal combining very well with Dani Olmo. They're going to play the short pass in, trying to take the shot off. But just as Rafinha took the shot off, he slipped by the looks of it. It's lovely play from Dani Olmo and Lamine. He does get the ball, he takes a touch, goes to take the shot off, and he just slips there. I didn't actually see it, but Antonio Sanchez got a touch on it. So the corner kick has been awarded. It didn't look like it was going to create much danger, but either way, Antonio Sanchez got the block off. Now here's Lamine Yamal, who tries putting in the Trivela cross. We've seen that work so many times for him, but he just couldn't get it to work then. And again, for this Barcelona squad, there's no rush right now. All they really need to do is just put a bit of pressure on Real Mallorca, and they can hold on to this lead. All due to the fact that Real Mallorca are playing with 8 men. And now Araujo and Dani Rodriguez getting in a bit of a brawl here. And in the first half, it was already very, very heated with plenty of arguments. And in the second half, we've already had the first one here now. And everyone trying to get involved, trying to separate these two. It looks like Dani Rodriguez is on the ground. He just takes Mateo Joseph down there. Araujo. And he does look like he steps on his foot as he does it. Jacob Arrasate, as you can see, sitting down, not happy. But there's not much he can do from here now on. In the end, it's just going to be awarded a goal kick for Joan Garcia. And I think it could just be, we could be expecting a very, very quiet second half. As with Real Mallorca, with 2 men less, Barcelona, they don't really need to do much to hold on to this lead. They just need to put a bit of pressure on Real Mallorca, keep on playing offensive, And there won't be much that Real Mallorca will be able to do just due to the fact that they have less men. And Barcelona constantly attacking here. They can't make much from it, Barcelona. Again, they're not playing highly intense. They're not playing nowhere near as intense as they were in the first half, but they don't exactly need to. Now Lamin, who's going to play it into Eric Garcia. And it's just Barcelona constantly attacking, constantly holding the ball in Real Mallorca's edge of the box, just trying to build something up. They play it into Lamin, who tries putting in a cross, but it deflects off one of those Real Mallorca defenders. It deflects off of Mojica. So now it's going to be a corner kick for Barcelona. Playing it quickly into Rafinha, back to Lamin. Lamin into Frankie de Jong. Now here's Pedri, who puts the cross into the second post. They leap up to get it. No one gets on it. The referee blows his whistle and awards the free kick to Real Mallorca. There he is. Marcus Rashford warming up. Gavi also warming up. Koundé. And many more names. Marcus Rashford yet to make his debut for LaLiga in this Barcelona squad. And he's been a very, very exciting signing. And when we've seen Marcus Rashford capable of many, many things, and when he's at his best, he is one of the best in Europe. And now Real Mallorca finally have a bit of possession of the ball, if they can't just manage to hold it for a bit. Now the ball's going to go all the way back to Leo Roman. The man between the sticks. They're just trying to take it forward, trying to play it up, but they don't have Muriqi to bring it down, as they usually do. It's usually the style of play. They go for Real Mallorca, they play up forward, let Muriqi bring it down. But with Muriqi gone, Manu Morlanes out, it's not going to be easy for them. Now Real Mallorca have possession of the ball in Barcelona's half of the pitch. Getting taken down here. It's going to be a free kick for Real Mallorca. And potentially could make something from this. It was Mateo Joseph who did very well to get the ball before Dani Olmo there. He just steps on his foot, as you can see there. Now Mallorca potentially have a chance to make something from the set-piece play. And it's Derder who's stepping up to take it. Plenty of names in that box to get the cross on. Putting the cross in to that second post. It just goes by. And no one can quite get on the edge of it. And what a chance that was there for Real Mallorca. And the ball rolls out for a goal kick. Now Joan Garcia is going to take the goal kick. Referee claims no foul. Now Real Mallorca doing very well to hold it. The referee ends up blowing his whistle and awards the free kick. Not the free kick, it was actually out of bounds for Barcelona. And again, it's definitely been a very quiet second half. We've not had much going on. We've not had much to talk about. But here's a good free ball into Eric Garcia. He gets the shot off. Now Leo Roman makes a double save. But Barcelona still have it in the edge of the box. They just can't make anything from that there, Barcelona. And what a double save that was there by Leo Roman. And again, how many times have we seen him do that? Taking a look at the replay here. He gets the shot off. It's good for a save, but it's the second one that's really impressive. He just leaps up to get his hand on it. And it was Dani Olmo with a lovely header. And we saw what Leo Roman was capable of doing last season. Despite not being the first choice goalkeeper, he started against Real Madrid and against Barcelona, the two biggest teams. And against Real Madrid, he averaged 10 saves, and against Barcelona, he averaged 12. So what a goalkeeper he is. And he's proved to be a top-level goalkeeper, no matter against the team he plays against. And now Rafinha trying to take the shot off. And it just goes wide for Rafinha. So it's going to be a goal kick here again for Leo Roman. Just tries to place it. That bottom left corner is a decent effort. But it just goes wide there for Rafinha. And now approaching the 60th minute very soon. And there'll be just 30 minutes left to go. It's been a very, very quiet half in the second half, especially for Real Mallorca, but it is what we expected. And with 2 men less, there's not much Real Mallorca can do now in the second half to bring it back. But if they can just hold on to this lead and put a bit of intensity in, then at least it won't be a terrible result. But if Real Mallorca just let go, then Barcelona could score a few more goals. Real Mallorca still have 2 more substitutes that they can make. They've already made 3. They've got 2 left. So we'll see who they decide to bring on. Still plenty of youngsters that might get a chance out here today. And Barcelona so far only making 1 substitution despite winning 2-0 and despite Real Mallorca having 2 men less. They've not made many substitutions. It's going to be a free kick here on Dani Rodriguez. He's just got his hand on his head. We'll take a look at the replay here, just with Pau Cubarsí. It looks like they just clash. Now here we have some Real Mallorca players warming up. Is David Lopez, Jan Sanas, and Toni Lato. One thing I will say, Toni Lato was also a player who, in my opinion, did very well in the preseason. And he's a player that I think has always had a lot of quality on his feet when given the chance. Hopefully we can see more of him this season. And now the play is stopped until both players are okay. It's just Dani Rodriguez and Pau Cubarsí both sat down since they collided. Now both players are back up on their feet. Hopefully they are okay. Doesn't look intentional from Pau Cubarsí. Looks like they both just went for the ball. And when it comes to head injuries, the referee's forced to stop the play. And that was the controversy with Barcelona's second goal. Antonio Rayo was on the ground due to a head injury, but the referee didn't blow his whistle. And Barcelona ended up scoring from it, in case you missed the first half. So that's what happened, and ever since that happened, I think Real Mallorca lost their heads in the first half. Started picking up yellow cards and red cards all over the place. I think Muriki's red card was just uncalled for from Muriqi. He just leaps up. He doesn't intentionally hit the goalkeeper. He barely even hits him, but either way, if you put your foot up around near the area of someone's head, it's usually an instant red card. And I think Manu Morlanes' red card, I think, was a bit harsh from the referee. Picked up a yellow card for committing the foul and then for protesting. All in the same sequence. Now the play is on the way and Mojica's doing very well to hold it. Barcelona do end up getting possession back. Not much can come from it. The ball goes into the hands of Leo Roman. But it looks like Barcelona might be making some changes very soon. I see some players getting ready. The ball goes out for a throw-in. Johan Mojica to take the throw-in. And by the looks of it, Marcus Rashford is going to be coming on. He's going to be making his debut here for Barcelona. Real Mallorca almost losing possession very dangerously. Joan Garcia comes out to clear the ball. It does end up being a throw-in for Real Mallorca. It's Mateo Joseph. It's going to be a free kick here. Mateo Joseph, he just gets taken down. There's Lamine, he just takes him down from behind. Definitely a free kick. Mateo Joseph, despite coming on in the second half in a tricky situation, he's definitely not been too bad. He's actually been alright. He's gained 1 or 2 free kicks for his team. And he's looked very good. Of course, we can't expect much from him in this matchup, where they're facing up against Barcelona and they're 2 men down, but very excited to see him next week out. Very excited to see him in general in the league. And now Real Mallorca with a free kick. It's Johan Mojica. Johan Mojica puts in a lovely ball. And what a cross that was there from Johan Mojica. But Ferran Torres leaps up to clear it. The ball goes out to be a corner kick for Real Mallorca. What a ball that was there from Johan Mojica. Now it's going to be a corner kick here for Real Mallorca. Starting to look maybe a bit better now, Real Mallorca. Starting to gain possession back a little bit. Now putting in that corner kick. Can't make anything from it. Everybody's just heading the ball all over the place. Ends up being a throw-in for Real Mallorca. 66 minutes in here now. And now Real Mallorca are going to put in cross into that second post. But Joan Garcia leaps up and gets there first. And all of a sudden this match is just gone alive. And Mateo Joseph again doing so well to get the free kick there. And all of a sudden Real Mallorca looks like they've just come back to life. Now, by the looks of it, Barcelona are going to be making 3 substitutions. But before they do that, Real Mallorca are going to take the free kick. Sergi Derder putting in the cross. I think a bit too wide, that cross, but either way, they do get hold of it. Sergi Derder tries to put the cross in, but it's just too wide, and then Antonio Rayo chases down the rebound, but just can't get there on time. And now Barcelona are going to be making 3 substitutions here. Balde is going to be coming off for Joffre. But not only that, we have 2 substitutions more. So Balde coming off for Joffre. And then Pau Cubarsí coming off for Gavi. And last but not least, Ferran coming off for Marcus Rashford. He's making his debut here. He's just come back from loan from Aston Villa, the Manchester United player who's just signed here for Barcelona. Now he's making his way into the Son Moix Stadium. And warming up for Real Mallorca, we have David Lopez, Toni Lato, and many more names. Now playing a lovely through ball and hitting the post here, Barcelona. The play went so quickly there, I could barely even see it. And I'm not quite sure what happened there. The play went so quick. What ball that is there? I believe it's Dani Olmo who gets the shot off and it just bounces off the post. And now the ball goes out to Lamine. It's Lamine Yamal. He's going to take it himself. Can't make anything from it, but the ball bounces all the way back to Barcelona's defenders. Now Barcelona playing the ball. Marcus Rashford playing it short. And Barcelona just holding the ball, playing it into the box, trying crossing it into Eric Garcia. He does get his head on it. Frankie de Jong with a nice little ball there, but just not enough power on that header from Eric Garcia. And Leo Roman just picks it up. Again, let's take a look at the replay here. What a shot that is there. It's so powerful. It just bounces off of that first post. And there was nothing Leo Roman could have done to save it. So not long left to go now. Hitting the 70th minute marker, so just 20 minutes left to go. Now here's Rafinha with a chance. He tries taking the shot off. And it just goes wide for Rafinha. And how many chances has Rafinha had trying to curl it into that bottom left corner? He's been so close every time. He can't manage to get it. He's just off there. And now Leo Roman is going to take the goal kick for Real Mallorca. And you can see the faces of some of the fans in the crowd. Pretty much a summary of how this match has been for Real Mallorca. Just upset. And it's such a shame that the first half went how it did, because if not, I definitely believe that Real Mallorca would have stood a chance. Now Mojica trying to play it into Mateo Joseph. Araujo's there to cut out the pass. But it's going to be a throw-in either way. Now here's Mojica. They try and take it forward. Ends up being a throw-in for Barcelona. You can see there Jacob Arrasate, the Real Mallorca manager, frustrated. Now Barcelona holding possession of the ball in Real Mallorca's half of the pitch. Now what can Barcelona do with it? They end up playing it to Lamine, who plays it into Frankie. Pedri ends up playing out wide. Now Joffre trying to put in the cross into that second post. Just too much height there from Joffre. Now it's going to be a goal kick here for Real Mallorca. But you can just tell that Barcelona aren't exactly rushing it to score. They aren't exactly going forward with all their power. They're just holding on. And there's, as you can see, Dominic Greif in the stands, watching his team play. Also, there's Manu Morlanes, also watching his team play on forward. Even though he was just sent off, he's there in the stands watching the match. Now Barcelona just gonna keep hold of it. 74 minutes in here now, up against Barcelona. And so far Barcelona have the lead, winning 2-0 here at the San Marcos Stadium. And Real Mallorca with 2 men less. 2 men down, 2 red cards. They couldn't make the most of it in the second half. Now Lamine Yamal trying to make it work, but Mojica defends him very, very well. And I will say, Mojica's been outstanding in this matchup up against Lamine. You know, some of them naming the best player in the world, and Mojica's just been defending him very well. He's very, very rarely let him past. And it's still very, very hot out here at the San Marcos Stadium. So there's going to be a quick hydration break here with 15 minutes left to go. But at least this Real Mallorca squad has put in an effort in the second half. I've been very impressed, I think, with that left-hand side for Real Mallorca. Johan Mojica and Mateo Joseph, I think they've been linking up very well. And I think they have been playing very well in general. And you have to take into consideration the fact that they're 2 men down playing against Barcelona. But either way, Mojica and Mateo Joseph, they've been linking up very well. And Mojica's just been defending spectacularly. And it looks like Rafinha is going to be coming off here. And Koundé is going to be coming on his place. And he's been out injured for quite some time, Koundé. But when he is in form, he's a very dangerous player. And this is the replay here from the second controversial goal. I'm just taking a look at it. You can just see Antonio Rayo on the ground. But either way, Ferran Torres takes the ball and takes a shot off. And it did end up standing as a goal. A very controversial one, but either way, the referee awarded it. And now Real Mallorca have it. Leo Roman taking the goal kick. Ball ends up going out of bounds. There's going to be a throw in here for Real Mallorca. But as you can see, this match very much died down by now. But either way, it's not been a bad second half for Real Mallorca. You do have to see that they've been 2 men down in the whole of the second half. And it's not been terrible in the second half. It's just been very quiet, as you would expect. It's just a shame that the first half was so poor from Real Mallorca. More than poor, I would say, just so unfortunate. I think they've definitely been unlucky in this match, and I think the circumstances have just completely stood against them. But either way, Real Mallorca, they definitely don't have to beat themselves up too much. As this is only the first match of the LaLiga division, there's still plenty more to go. So they have to keep up a good, positive attitude. Now Real Mallorca have possession of it. Ball goes all the way back to Leo Roman, the man between the sticks, who tries playing a long through ball, looking for Mateo Joseph, but he can't quite find him. And despite how good Real Mallorca have been in the second half, I do have to say, you know, you can also tell that Barcelona haven't been trying as hard in the second half. You can tell that they know that with this result, with this lead, and with Real Mallorca with 2 men down, that they don't need to press for it loads offensively. So you can also see that. And now it's going to be a corner kick here for Barcelona as the deflection goes out. Now Rashford plays it into Pedri. Taking the shot on Dani Olmo. It's blocked. Now Mojica picks up the rebound. He tries playing it forward. But he can't quite find anyone. They couldn't get there on time. So now Barcelona have it back. Dani Rodriguez doing very well to get the ball back. Now here's Pedri into Koundé. Now it's Rashford who has it. Joffrey's going to overlap him. He's going to give it into them, putting in the low cross. There's no one there for Barcelona. And Mojica ends up picking up the rebound. He tries playing it forward, but they just don't have enough players to go up front, Mallorca. Either way, Lamine Yamal ends up giving a free kick. So now Real Mallorca have possession of the ball in their own half of the pitch. Taking a look at the replay here, Marcus Rashford, he just plays into Joffrey, who overlaps him. Joffrey puts in a lovely through ball, but there's no one there to get on the edge of it. And now Leo Roman takes the free kick. Now what a touch this is here by Dani Rodriguez. He turns around and tries taking the shot off. A decent effort there by Dani Rodriguez. Now losing the ball here in the midfield, trying to play a through ball into Lamine, who does end up getting there. But Mojica takes the touch in the end, so deflection is going to be a throw-in for Barcelona. And now by the looks of it, Jan Salas is going to be coming on, and Sergi Darder is going to come off, who, as you can see in his face, very disappointed. But all the fans giving him a big round of applause. which is what you love to see, the fans backing up their team in the good times and in the bad times. And now Jan Salas, the youngster who got promoted with the first team last season. He's back now from another season with the senior squad. And he does well to get the touch and take it forward. Trying to play it forward. Barcelona end up getting the throw-in and they take it quickly. Dani Rodriguez is definitely feeling lively in these last few minutes. Now here's Pedri. It's Gavi. Out to Koundé. To Lamine. Now Lamine. Now Pedri. Pedri taking the shots off. And Leo Roman leaps up and makes a beautiful save. Good save there by Leo Roman, as always, making these important saves. It was a very powerful shot and even going very well on target. So Leo Roman does very well to get the save. Now Dani Olmo is going to play it short into Lamine. Now taking the shot off Araujo. Very courageous. Trying to take the bicycle kick. It's a lovely pass there from Pedri. And very courageous there from Araujo, trying to take the bicycle kick. But he just sends it flying. As you know, it's not an easy technique to pull off. Now just approaching the 85th minute, so just 5 minutes left to go before the full-time whistle. And by the looks of it, this result's going to be ending like this. And you can tell that both of these teams are just, at this point, very fatigued. Especially with the heat. With the heat that there is today. And there's Jaco Barrasate on the sideline. Looking very disappointed. Now, Barcelona trying to take it forward. They're going to switch all the way out to the left-hand side. Koundé out to Lamine. And you could say that I think the main star for today was definitely the referee. I think it was the main point of this match. Now trying to make their way in here, Barcelona. But either way, you could say the main point of view today was definitely the referee. And I feel like it would have been a different story if that goal didn't stand and if they didn't get those two players sent off. I definitely feel like Real Mallorca could have stood a good chance out here today. Trying to play a through ball. But Leo Roman does well to get there first. Marcus Rashford just tries to take the touch and he can't get there. Now, not long left to go now, just a few minutes. Here's Rashford, he's going to take it forward. Plays it into Pedri. Pedri's going to play it back. Now here's Gavi. Koundé. Back to Pedri. Back to Koundé, out to Lamine Yamal. Lamine's going to take it himself, trying to curl it into that bottom left corner. And Leo Roman again makes a big save. And what a goalkeeper Leo Roman is. It wasn't the greatest of shots, but either way, he had to get down and make the save. What a goalkeeper he is. Now here's Dani Olmo playing into Rashford. Rashford plays it to Lamine, who gets the shot off. But it goes right at the goalkeeper, Leo Roman, and he just catches it. That's a poor shot by Lamine, and I do have to say, Lamine usually being the main star for Barcelona, I think it was very quiet today, and I do think Mojica defended his place very well up against Lamine. And again, I just think if it wasn't for those very unfortunate actions that happened in the first half, I think Mallorca definitely would have stood a good chance up against this Barca side. Barcelona just holding possession just on the edge of the box of Real Mallorca's side. Now here's Lamine, who plays into Koundé, who tries putting in a low cross. Leo Roman does get his hands on it. And it leaps up for a corner kick. And those Real Mallorca fans still cheering their side on, singing the Real Mallorca song, the Real Mallorca anthem. Now Barcelona have the corner kick. Trying to put in the low cross. Not much can come from it. And by the looks of it, this matchup is going to be ending like this. Not sure how many added minutes there is going to be, but we're just about to find out. The ball goes out to Marcus Rashford, who can't make anything from it. It's going to be a free kick here for Real Mallorca. And Dani Rodríguez has gone down. Gavi just takes him out. And Barcelona were claiming a penalty kick there. And now we've just hit the 90th minute marker. And by the looks of it, Johan Mojica is going to be coming off, and Toni Lato is going to be coming on. Coming on harshly late here, Toni Lato. And in my opinion, he had a very, very good preseason. I'm a big fan of Toni Lato, and I hope we get to see more from him this season. Now Leo Roman is going to take the free kick. Barcelona getting the throw in. And that's one thing I did mention earlier, is that Lamine Yamal considered one of the best players in the world, if not the best. He didn't do much out here today, because I think Johan Mojica just defended him very well. He did his job superb. And at least that's a positive we can't get from this matchup. And now Jan Salas and Lamine Yamal getting in a bit of a brawl here. Just taking a look at the replay here. He just pushes him over. And then complains, by the looks of it, to the referees. Bit of an argument there between Jan Salas and Lamine Yamal. Now Leo Roman's going to take the goal kick, and any minute now, the referee's going to blow the full-time whistle. There's just about 1 minute and a half left, as there was 4 minutes added on. But by the looks of it, this matchup is going to end here. And it's been a very disappointing result, I think, for Real Mallorca. As I think the first half, so many different things happened at once. All of them against Real Mallorca, and they were playing so well up until the incidents started to happen, so it's such a shame. But that's football sometimes, and all they can do now is go into the next match ready. And keep their heads up, of course. Now here's Gavi, he's going to play out to Lamine. Lamine cutting in, trying to take the shot off. And he curls it into that top left corner, Lamine Yamal. And now Barcelona lead 3-0 here at the Estadio Sant Moix. And what a way to end the match. Lamine Yamal curls into that top left corner of his left foot. An absolute rocket of a strike. And now Barcelona are going to end this match just before the full-time whistle, scoring, ending 3-0. And it's definitely not the result that Real Mallorca deserved. What a shot. Lamine Yamal, what a talent. Look at the shot there, curling into that top left corner. An absolute beauty of a goal. What a player he is. And by the looks of it, most likely as soon as we kick off, I didn't even realize it, the referee's blown already his full-time whistle. And that's going to be the end of this matchup. By the looks of it, the referee blows his full-time whistle. And what a way to end the match there from Lamine Yamal, curling it into that top left corner. And there he is, Lamine Yamal, having a word there with Jan Salas. Looks like Lamine is just explaining to him that he didn't mean anything to him. He was just saying it to the referees. But either way, I think, you know, the fans have been really, really good out there today. They've been singing, they've been chanting their team on despite the terrible first half, despite all the incidents. Look at them fans, they're all still there, they're all still applauding their team on. And all those Real Mallorca players go to clap on their fans and give them big respect. And I think the result, it's very unfortunate. Because again, in my opinion, that first half, well, you know, the first half was good. You know, they were looking very, very good. Real Mallorca, they were building chances. They were competing with Barca. They had 2 or 3 chances where they could have scored. But then those incidents just happened to happen as soon as Barcelona scored that second goal. You know, Real Mallorca just completely lost their head. And if you did miss completely what happened in the first half, what happened was Lamine Yamal took a shot off. Antonio Rio blocked it with his head. And as soon as he blocked it with his head, he went down. He looked like he was hurt. And usually when it's a head injury, the referees have to stop the play. But the referee didn't stop the play. Then Ferran Torres got the rebound. And he put it in the back of the net. And the Real Mallorca players and the manager were very upset that the referee didn't stop the play. And I just think ever since that happened in the first half, they just started to get crazy, you know, started to pick up yellow cards, red cards. They ended up picking up 2 red cards in the first half. And from then onward, there's not much they could have done. Now I'm just waiting to see if we are going to get the player interviews or not. So do not go anywhere if you do want to see that. I'm just waiting to see if we are going to get them, but until we find out, we're going to talk a bit about the match and individual performances. I think on that Real Mallorca side, no one really stood out in general. I think the player that impressed me the most is Johan Mojica, simply for the fact of how well he defended out there today, how well he dealt with Lamine Yamal and the rest. You know, he was constantly defending him, not letting him through, and he did defend him so well. And also, Leo Roman made a few big saves out there, as he does every time. I just think he's an amazing goalkeeper. But no one in general was very impressive. Individual performances, I think that was the best. And then also, we saw Mateo Joseph come on. He made his debut out here for Real Mallorca out here today, signing from Leeds United on loan. I think he was very good. You know, you have to take into consideration he came on to the second half, you know, with a squad that have 2 players less, with a team, you know, playing up against Barcelona. It was a very unfortunate moment to come on. But despite all that, he still played very well, Mateo Joseph. He got so many free kicks. He did well to get the ball and move. So I think those 3 players performed very well out there today. I think Moriki's red card was just very unfortunate. He goes up to get the ball, but it is true that his foot is by the goalkeeper's face. And usually in the rule book, that's a direct red. He doesn't really hit him a lot, but either way, you know, it's a bit unfortunate, but, you know, Muriqi maybe shouldn't have taken the risk there. And on Manu Morlanes' red card, I think, you know, the referee, I think he was a bit harsh to give that red card. Manu Morlanes, he committed the foul on Lamine. He gave Manu Morlanes the yellow card for committing the foul, and then Manu Morlanes protested a little bit and he gave him another yellow. I think it was a bit harsh from the referee. And again, I just think so many things happened and it was so unfortunate. I believe we are going to get the words from Antonio Raillo very soon, the Real Mallorca captain. We're going to get his opinion here live on the YouTube Play Red channel. So don't go anywhere if you want to hear from some of those Real Mallorca players. And I can't imagine it being too positive. I can't imagine how some of these Real Mallorca players are feeling at the minute. I can feel they'll be very upset. And the manager also, I can feel he'll be very upset. But we'll see what these players have to say. So do not go anywhere if you want to see that. And then I think if we look at that Barcelona squad, in general, no one was exactly dominant in that Barcelona squad. I don't think anyone stood out. I don't think they were super dangerous. But because Real Mallorca lost those 2 men, and ever since they gave away that second goal, I just think they lost their head. And I just think they sort of gave too much to the Barcelona. And there's not much Barcelona had to do to keep the lead. And I just don't think that Barcelona were all that impressive out there today. You know, so it's a shame that happened to Real Mallorca. It's a shame that it happened in that first half, because if not, I definitely think they would have stood a chance of competing with them. It is true that in the second half, Real Mallorca did go out there. They did perform quite good in the second half. They didn't concede. They were holding on. They even made 1 or 2 chances. I think Mateo Joseph was looking good in the second half too when he came on. But, you know, Barcelona in the second half weren't exactly... They didn't look like they were exactly going for a lot. They just wanted to hold the ball and let time pass. And it's pretty much exactly what they did. And with Real Mallorca being 2 men down, there's not much they could do about it to change it. So again, loads of turn of events in this matchup. We've had a very, very crazy match out here today. Very unfortunate one for Real Mallorca. You know, just looking at how many yellow cards and how many red cards Real Mallorca picked up, there was such a high amount of fouls out there today. The first half did get a bit heated, and then the second half calmed down. And now Real Mallorca next week out, they are facing Celta Vigo away from home. I just think they have to completely brush this result off. It's only the first match of the league, and they just happen to get the hardest opponent. You know, so I just think they need to brush this result off. and, go into the next match with a new mentality. They are playing Celta Vigo away from home, a very tough opponent and a very tough stadium to play at. But again, when Real Mallorca, when they do play as a team, they are capable of doing, plenty of things. So we'll wait to see if Real Mallorca can get a result from that. Unfortunately for Real Mallorca now, they are going to be missing Manu Morlanes and Vedat Muriqi in the next match, of course, because they both got sent off of red cards, which is very, very unfortunate. There are two players that are very, very important in this Real Mallorca squad. Vedat Muriqi is the main striker for Real Mallorca. And then you have Manu Morlanes, who's also usually a starter in that center defensive mid. I think Manu Morlanes, it's not as bad trying to replace him because there's plenty of options in that center defensive mid position. But on the other hand, Vedat Muriqi being missing is a lot more complicated because they don't have loads of strikers to replace Vedat Muriqi with. So it's a shame that those players are going to be missing for this next matchup, as they are going to be quite hard to replace. Now, if we do take a look at the first goal that Barcelona did score, fair play to Barcelona because it's a good goal. It's a lovely pass from Lamine Yamal, who crosses it into that second post looking for Rafinha. And he does get to Rafinha, but if you do look at that first goal, the cross that Lamine gives in, it's excellent. But in the second post, Rafinha, he's just got so much room. He's looking far too much on its own. It just looks like Mateo Jaume, who's been playing very well this preseason, but it just looks like in that moment, he just forgets that Rafinha's there behind him, and he gives him far too much room. And the ball even bounces on the ground before it reaches Rafinha. He had far too much time and far too much space to get his head on the ball. And I think that's the mistake that Real Mallorca made there in that first goal. But, up against a team like Barcelona, what can you do? Sometimes you are going to make these type of mistakes. Sometimes you are going to concede one goal or two. I don't think that's where the problem started. I definitely don't. They conceded that one goal, but either way, they're still looking good after they conceded that one goal. Again, it's when they conceded the second goal that was very unfortunate that it started to go, a lot downhill. And then the third goal from Lamine Yamal, it's a lovely goal. You can't take anything from it. He's an exceptional talent, that kid, Lamine Yamal. One of the best players in the world. And the way he just curls it into that top left corner with his left foot, it's very impressive. There's not much you can do from it. And, within those last few minutes, I think Real Mallorca were really feeling the fatigue. Especially because they were playing... they were playing with two men less, so I think they were definitely feeling the fatigue, especially in the last few minutes. And not that it was going to change anything in the result, but either way, it's a good goal there from Lamine Yamal. So fair play to him. We have to be aware that he is one of the best players in the world, and I think no one can take that from him. I believe we're going to have an interview coming up right now. In just a few seconds, we're going to have the words now from Sergi Derder, so don't go anywhere. Sergi, a very complicated match. How can you rate the match after the first half? Well, after the first goal, I think the team still looked good, Yeah, we knew it was going to be a tough match. They pretty much had the ball all the time, but we knew that if we played out our game, we'd create some chances, and we did, and we had them. We almost got the 1-1, but when they got that second goal, we just really started to fall off. We had a rival where, 11 versus 11, it's hard. Well, imagine with 9 people, But we're still proud after what we did. We're proud from the fans. And I think playing 60 minutes or 70 minutes, I don't know how long it was, against that Barca team, was impressive. The second goal arrived at a bad moment because the team started to look good. So how do you feel? Yeah, it's what I said. It's such a shame that we conceded that goal. I think we were starting to look good. You have to know that Barcelona are a team that want the ball. They're not going to let you get it. But again, we just did started to create occasions. We started to get through. We had 2 or 3 chances. The 1-1 was there. It was very close. But hey, I think ever since we got the red cards, or ever since they got the second goal, I think with 10 people it's too hard, and with 9 it's impossible. Real Mallorca did compete up there, and you have to be happy with the fans, because it was complicated for everyone. But the fans were there until the end. Yeah, we don't have to remember what happened last season. We have to think about what happened today. The manager didn't say anything last week out up against Ciutat de Palma. Despite we lost, despite the result, a match which we pretty much had lost since the beginning, we still did well. It's something that we take into consideration. This match, it has been useful, and now we just have to focus against next week. There was a few discussions between players, a few shouts, but, it's whatever. We have to move on to the next match, and we have to stay together. Those are the words there from Sergi Darder, one of the best players last season for Real Mallorca, voted actually the player of the season last season out for Real Mallorca. And you have to take into consideration the words he said there. It is a match that most people expected Real Mallorca to lose. It's a match that they knew that they were going out up against pretty much one of the best teams in the world, that the result could be anything. But they were doing good, and they did generate occasions. And the 1-1, it was there. It was so close. They were doing very well. But ever since they conceded that second goal, as Sergi Darder just said, they lost it. And playing with 10 men against Barcelona is hard. Well, imagine playing with 9. And I just think from there on, there was just no chance of getting it back. So it's a shame. But, they have to move on. They have to stay focused despite the arguments of today. Everyone was getting a bit heated because it's a poor result. But either way, they have to stay focused and go in next week up against Celta Vigo at their best the way they can, as that's going to be the most important match, I think. So we'll see. I think we're going to get the words now from Antonio Raillo. So do not go anywhere. I think we're going to get that interview now. And Muriqi, of course, Sergio, they're talking about those chances that we had. You do have to look at the chances that Muriqi had, for example. He had such a clear chance. It's just such a shame they couldn't put it in. And Takuma Sano also had a big chance. Again, Real Mallorca, they had a few clear chances, but they just couldn't make the most of them. So it's such a shame for that. And I think, Sergio, I think everything you said was correct. The first half, it was good up until they conceded that second goal. They were generating occasions. They almost got the 1-1. But I just think from then onward, I just think they lost the match. And playing with 10 men against Barcelona again, nearly impossible. While playing with 9, there's not much they can do in that occasion. So again, a shame, but they have to go into the next week even more focused than ever, because it's only the first matchup. It's only the first match of the whole LaLiga division. There's still much more to go. And one thing I actually did forget to mention is the debuts that some of these players are making out here today. Pablo Torre, he did play in the preseason, but LaLiga division, that was, his debut out here today. He was, I think, we didn't see much of him today. He's usually a player that stands out in the preseason. He was pretty much one of the best players, but today we didn't really see him. He pretty much wasn't there. He was very quiet, but, it was an unfortunate match for everyone. So you have to give it time. And also, Mateo Joseph, also another player who made his debut out here for Real Mallorca today. He did actually look pretty good, despite coming on in the second half with 9 men and all the odds against him. Despite all that, I think he looked very good, Mateo Joseph, making his debut out there. And then we still have Lucas Bergström. He was on the bench. He's a goalkeeper that Real Mallorca have signed, and we're still waiting for him to make his debut. So we'll see. We didn't get to see much from him in the preseason. and we haven't got to see him at all in the LaLiga division yet, but hopefully we'll get to see from him soon. And one thing you do have to say also was how impressive the fans were out there today. They were constantly, despite in the second half, despite being 9 men down, despite losing 2-0, they were still there singing with their team and pushing their team on forward. So, you know, the fans have definitely been very, very impressive out there today, and you do have to take that into consideration. I think we are going to get a player interview very soon. I'm not quite sure if we are going to get them or not. I'm just waiting to find out. So again, if you want to hear the words from the players and the manager, stay tuned and we'll get those very soon. But I'm just waiting to find out now if we are going to get them or not. But either way, you know, analyzing the match, it was bad. It could have been worse. The result was unfortunate. The first half was very unfortunate. It was good, but then it was also very unfortunate. Now, we are going to get the words from Antonio Raillo. We are here with Antonio Raillo. Very complicated match, obviously. From the first half onwards, it got very complicated, especially with the sent players off. Yeah, I know. We can't really analyze much of this match, except for, you know, from when they scored the first. You know, it was our mistake, the first goal. He puts the cross in. The ball was going slow. He scored, but, you know, from the second goal onwards, it just got crazy. It's true that, you know, it's the first match. Everyone maybe is feeling a little bit tense. But, you know, 10 seconds went on. The ref didn't blow his whistle, and I was still on the ground. But, hey. You know, from the first goal onwards, I think first 20, 25 minutes, we generated occasions. I'm proud. I'm not happy, but I am proud. We just have to analyze everything now because it was bad. You were the main man after that second goal. How do you feel? No, you know, the ref asked me, you know, if my head it was okay. And I told them, yeah, I felt a bit dizzy. The people that know me know that I don't flop on the ground like that. You know, when it hit me, I tried to stand up, but, you know, my body just didn't react. So I just fell down because my head was really dizzy. You know, I was there 15, 20 seconds. And, you know, the referee, the ball was still in play. The referee didn't blow the whistle. And then, you know, when there was a bump in the head between the Barca player, the referee stopped it instantly, you know. I just think it's a bit unfair and that they have to check that out. I think the team is proud, especially the fans too, to compete with 2 players less with the main league team. Yeah, you know, going into the second half, our main target was just don't concede a goal. I think we tried. You know, they scored in the last minute, but because, you know, the team was absolutely exhausted, we couldn't go anymore. We couldn't run. We were exhausted. So, yeah, you know, there's not much we can say about the team. It's just been a bit unfortunate. Those are the words there from Antonio Raillo, who, you know, the main man of the second goal, of the controversial goal. That his words, him saying it, you know, he's usually not a player that flops, that goes in the ground like that dives, and that the ball just hit him so hard that now we have the words of Leo Roman. Leo Roman, how are you doing? A very complicated night, this match, but are you proud of the team that competed up until the end, despite having 2 men less? Yeah, it was complicated. Analyzing the match is also complicated because there was a very strange situation in the second goal. But hey, I think the team reacted pretty well. We're finding space, you know. We knew what we had to do in this match. We're applying it. It's very hard, but after that second goal and everything else that came forward, we just have to take the positive from this match. I think we competed. I think the people saw, you know, that fury that Mallorca has, that we suffer. We just have to keep with that and go in next week even more focused. How did you feel in that second goal? I mean, it was hard. I don't even think they knew if it was a goal or not. You know, he just shot kind of just to shoot. Everything was a bit, confusing because you saw, one of your partners on the ground. It's not like 1 or 2 seconds went by. It was like 9 seconds went by. So, I think for everyone's good, they should have stopped that play. But hey, that's what happened. We just happened to pay the price, and it is what it is. In the second half, you had to do the rest of the work, especially after the first half. I can imagine you're not satisfied with the result, but I can imagine personally with your performance, you are. Well, I'm not leaving feeling good. I think every player has to look at themselves and what they have to fix about themselves. And yeah, I just think, we have to be a bit more lively. I think we have to be there, be more cautious. But hey, it's what you said. I think the team in the end ended a bit, disappointed, but the second half it was still decent. Those who are there from Leo Roman, the new goalkeeper for Real Mallorca, the main man who is going to be the first goalkeeper choice this season for Real Mallorca, and I think he deserves that after an amazing season he had last season. And again, he did perform good out there. And now we're going to have the words from Jacob Arrasate. How do you describe this match? It was very complicated, yeah. The match was good up until about the 25th minute. I think they did good, but we let them easy. We were very close to getting the draw, but then, they got to 2-0. There wasn't a lot of time left, and we got the player sent off, and the match was pretty much over. I do like the fans, how they helped us. The team, I think, fought until the end at least. It was very disappointing in the end, but we did put in a good second half. Does it annoy you that technically the team was finding its way through and it was doing good? Yeah, I think we were getting there. We had a very good occasion. I think that second goal, it was so weird. It was just so unfortunate. Nobody could believe that was a goal. When Rayo went on the ground, and then the referee had the whistle in his mouth, but he didn't blow the whistle. The other referees told him to blow it. He didn't. So, and then the 2 red cards, it was just impossible. And then the second half, you did have to bring it back. You put 4 at the back. You had to give minutes to other players too. Yeah, put lines of 4, had to bring some fresh legs on. And I think we did an alright second half, looking at how the first half went. When you can't really do anything more, well, at least we can do this to work hard. And, that connection, at least with the fans, we have to get better when we play at home. Just like last year, we weren't very good. And in a week, we play back here again. So that's really words there from Jacob Arrasate. So we are going to listen to Hansi Flick now and to see what he has to say.
Hola, Hansi. Bona nit. Rui en directe a la TDT de Catalunya Ràdio. Li preguntaré a l'entrenador del Barça com ha aconseguit i com ha intentat aconseguir mantenir motivats els jugadors aquesta nit després de les dues vermelles. You just said just a moment ago that the team has always played at 100% and this didn't happen today. So what did you tell them at halftime or after the match to keep them motivated, and how can you achieve this as a coach? Thank you.
front and 2 players less on the opponent, it's nice, but we have to play better, faster, because the opponent not very defense very deep, so it's not so many space there. But at the end we have 3 points, and we're happy. But we know also that we have to in some situations, and we have to make better.
Hola Hansi, aquí Marta Ramon en directe al Barça juga a RACU i preguntarem a Hansi Flick pel gol de Ferran Torres i la confusió que hi ha hagut with Ferran's goal that was given for confusion. Are you sure it was a goal? How did you leave it in the bench? And do you understand that Mallorca were a little bit disappointed with the decision of the referee?
When I was on the other side, decisions over, I also probably not happy. But at the end, I always said to my team until the referee will stop the match, we have to continue. Always continue. So it's because when I analyzed Barca before I arrived, it's like that. They stop, they discuss, and I want always that they focus and continue to play. And of course the referee didn't stop the match, so you know that they are not happy with that decision. You can ask me later.
Hola, mister. Buenas noches. Soy Albert, directo para el Diario Deportivo de Alcácer. I don't know if you feel the same. Yamal seems extraordinary in this starting season. I don't know because also he's wearing the number 10 shirt and it's special for him. But do you think that this season we can see very best version of Yamal?
I said it also in the the important thing is that he performed on his highest level and helps the team. So this is the most important thing. And now Lamine is special, everyone used to, and it's normal. What I can say, what I see, he's really good. So it's not like that he take a bomb or ball and then I try to play. It's not, because he's really have the hunger also to press, also to win balls. With the ball in all was exceptional. So this is good, and I'm happy also for him that he's on the
Hi Hansi, good night. Why did you pick Eric Garcia over Jules Koundé? Is due to physical issue or just a decision?
It's pre-season. Every player is all decisions are really high quality. So it's not like we talk about just talking about ideas and decisions.
¿Qué le parecieron el debut de Jofre Torres? What do you think about Jofre Torres' debut? What expected from him?
Well, I'm happy to have him and also the young players on this level, because in the training you can see that they really are good, and this is I appreciate a lot about this level, about this quality they have, and of course today was maybe not easy to play, also for Marcus not, because there were not so many spaces in the opponents near the box, and but at the end 3 points more, and we go we fly to Barcelona, and I think it's a good with 3 points in the backpack.
Hola, Hansi. Raúl Fuentes de Radio Marca en directo. Rashford, Matchday debut, and Joan Garcia clean sheet, and one clean sheet. what do you think of the minutes and goalkeeper and forward?
I said before, I think also for Marcus was in the second half not easy because not so many space. And also, how I said before, we only, I think I had the feeling that we play by 50%, 60%, and it's not enough. It's not enough. I want to have my team in with another attitude. So John played a really good game, great game, and I think for the first match we can continue like this.
Okay,
unfortunately,
it's getting late. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we have to finish. Otherwise, we're going to miss the plane. Bye-bye.
So those were the words there from Hansi Flick, who, as you can see, he was saying that Barcelona were playing at about 50-60% in that second half, and that, he tells his team to play on until the referee blows his whistle, which is completely true. In my opinion, in football, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to play until the referee blows his whistle, which is the correct thing. I don't think his team particularly did anything wrong, but they definitely should have stopped the play. So it's just a bit unfortunate, realistically. It's definitely not anyone's fault in particular. I just think the referee should have stopped the play, and it's what he said, And in the second half, like he did also say, I think Barcelona were playing at like 50-60%. I don't think they were fully giving it their all. I think they're playing more calm because they knew that all they really need to do was just keep hold of the possession, not let Mallorca get the ball a lot, and they would keep that lead like that, and that's exactly what they did. And definitely not a bad result for Barcelona, but I don't think Hansi Flick is entirely happy with the result. I think he expected a bit more. I think he wanted a bit more. But all that matters in the end of the day is that you get the 3 points, and that's exactly what they did. So, fair play to Hansi Flick and fair play to his squad. He's got a big squad and a big year upcoming. So, yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. There's not much to say from Barcelona's side of point of view. There's not much to say from this match. It's more to talk about, I think, on Real Mallorca's side of the match, on where it all went wrong. And we're going to get the press conference now from Jacob Arrasate very soon. And then we'll be closing this live stream. But if you do want to see that, do not go anywhere, because we're just waiting now to get the press conference from Jacob Arrasate. And I do want to hear what he has to say. I'm quite intrigued to hear what he has to say, but I can already imagine what he's going to say on how he's not happy of how the team played, on how he's not happy of how the referee didn't stop the play there. But from the interview that we got from Jacob Arrasate, I can already sort of imagine what he's going to say in the press conference. Now we're going to listen to the press conference of Jacob Arrasate. I would like to know your interpretation of the action of Ferran's goal and the sending offs too of Muriqi and Manu. Well, the action, I think we all saw it. If there's a hit in the head, you have to stop the play. And the referee that I had by the sideline told him to stop the play. I even thought he stopped the play, but I didn't hear it. I just think everyone was disappointed. I just don't understand it. The referee came to speak to me, which I do appreciate, of course. He told me that, Antonio Rayo wasn't hurt too bad, which I don't know how he would know that. And I think Manu's, was very harsh. And I think Muriki's was just bad luck. He did hit him. I thought it was going to be a yellow, but then they checked the VAR, and there's a red. It's just a shame because the match didn't last as long as I wanted it to. Those two actions completely wiped us out. But I do appreciate, the fans that helped push us on. I wanted to ask you, how do you feel after this match? What sensations does it leave to you? And how are you going to deal with it now going out next week? Well, I think we're very upset with the critic of it. I just think the result wasn't fair for what we did. We're just annoyed, we're upset. And then going into the second half, it's just so complicated. Losing 2-0, we're missing 2 players. We've got a whole 45 minutes. Well, we were all very upset. We had to calm down. We had to bring on some fresh legs. And that gave us a bit of a push, a bit of a new wind of air. We were playing, 4-4 formation. I think, the fans really pushed us on forward. We really do appreciate it. And the result, yeah, it is what it is. You said before the match started you wanted the fans to identify with the team. Starting this new campaign, what reflection do you have now after this match, now that you have the opportunity to speak, and how is Muriqi? Muriqi's very upset about that action. He had the chance as well to score, and he didn't, so he's very upset. And I think with the fans, I think we are accomplishing it. We didn't want it to happen this way, but we're going to have to do even more. They had to push a lot in the second half to keep on pushing on the team because it wasn't easy. But I want to think that these fans left here, with a spirit to win out next week. We play next week, so we'll see. We're going to see what happens. I think those actions, they're upsetting, but we should leave Tarim today knowing we should be a bit proud. The feeling after, hearing the referee's comments about it. How do you feel after that, after the referee's comments? Do you think the team shouldn't have stopped moving when they saw Antonio Rey on the ground? Well, we need to know if they stop the play right there or if they're going to take a while to stop it. We all thought that they were going to stop it. It's true that we shouldn't stop moving because then Ferran, hit it into the top left corner. It's just all very complicated moments because then there was a yellow and a red. You just feel a bit overwhelmed. You just feel like it's unfair. And then, you get more cards and you just get more upset. We just have to learn to interpret it better. Talking about those good 25 minutes that you guys had. If that Mallorca wants to get somewhere, to a big level, and with Muriqi included, the occasion that you had, and the ones that you missed, are you a bit worried that, you're going to take a while to start up again? Well, we've got new fresh legs, we've got new players like Mateo Joseph that help push the team on forward. I did see the team good, and I saw options where we could have stopped them. These type of matches, you need a lot of things, and one of them are the good sensations. It's clear, we have to keep on training and training. Everyone up front can learn to shoot with enough training. We just need to do it better, and everyone needs to keep on working. Is it true that you're not going to sign any more players this summer? You started the season with no players, and now you have 3 new additions. Has there been any more movements, any more new signings of players, possibly? We all want to have more signings, but we also want to have good signings. We can get players just like that, but we want to try and get the right ones. We have to do a good market, not a fast one. And I'm confident that we are doing it well.
compañero, de hecho ha sido un poco ingenuo. Si en lugar de verlo por esa parte vemos que ha ido pasado de revoluciones, la acción de Muri, de Manu, de meter la pierna.
Do you think the team maybe started to lose their head after that second goal? Do you think that if they would have kept their calm a bit more, then next week out against Celta, that the team could do a lot more better if they keep their head next week out? Yeah, I mean, I think the intensity there on Muriki's, you know, he had to put his foot in because he was about to get there. It could have been a goal. You know, Manu's occasion, you know, defending Lamine is not easy. It's unfortunate to get the yellow. And then him complaining, those are things that we have to do better. These are just things that Mallorca has, and we do have to work on him. Sometimes we're going to go through these bad matches, and that's it. It was true that was a very complicated match to draw the conclusions. But do you think missing Muriqi, that's at least 2 matches for that red card on that occasion? What do you think? Well, we'll see. We'll have to see who we bring on. We'll see if they ban 2 matches or not. We don't know yet. He puts his head in, but it wasn't intentional. Before the 2 players were sent off, it looks like Mallorca were doing very well. They were creating occasions very well. You know, you were playing with a lot of players in midfield, and they're very comfortable. Is this about what we're going to see this season within those first 25 minutes? I think there was good phases, you know. You know, it's true that sometimes we struggle to keep possession, and maybe that's something that we're starting to aim for more. We're also putting on press very, very well. But yeah, you know, that's what we want to do, and we want to have good phases. We just have to roll with whatever gives us good results. And with the fans too, we're going to try and work with them, and every day we're going to try and get better. At halftime, what was on your mind, knowing that Barcelona were winning? You know, it could have been better. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was really upset, but I just had to calm the players down, explain the changes that had to made, explain what we have to try and go for now. You know, there's those 5-10 minutes, it's really hard, but, you know, we just have to calm down, try and organize everything. The second half was a big challenge. I think we did pretty good in the second half. I wanted to ask you about Mateo Joseph, especially with Muriqi being sent off. How did you see him today? And do you think he's going to start next week out? Well, there's still a long time to go. It's a very hard match for him to start, you know, with 2 players off, coming into that second half against Barcelona. He gives us a lot of room to work with. He does very well with his feet. So we'll see next week out. We'll decide between Abdon and him, or maybe both of them. We'll see. The change from Mateo Morey at halftime, was it because he had a yellow? Or was it because he got hurt? It was because he got a bit hurt, but it was also because he had a yellow. You know, we were there with 9 players. We have a spare left back, so, you know, we just had to bring another one on. Manu Morlanes and Muriqi, both of them have been sent off. How do you feel? Yeah, I mean, we're losing 2 important players for the next match. It's annoying, it's upsetting, but we have other players, and we're just going to have to use them until they're back available. Do you think Rafinha should have been sent off? And also, do you think that a player being dizzy is an excuse to blow the whistle? Well, we're going to see in other matches if the referees do the same by blowing the whistle. And Rafinha's, I think he sort of slipped. I would never send a player off like that. But you know, if you stop it frame by frame, you could send him off just like you sent off Muriqi. What did you think of Pablo Torres' debut? Well, you know, it was 45 minutes. He had a yellow. We didn't see much from him. We still want to see more from him. You know, we think he can give us more, but we didn't really see much. It was very hot out there today. It was 36 degrees Celsius. Do they not realize that's going to be this hot? Why is the kickoff so early? Well, I don't know. You know, next week is at 5 p.m. I think, you know, someone from LaLiga has to try and organize this. You know, they have to realize at 5 p.m. in Mallorca in the middle of August on a Saturday, it's going to be very hot, but yeah. So those were the words there from Jacob Arrasate, the Real Mallorca manager, who, as you can see, you know, a bit disappointed with the result, but again, it's whatever. Next week out, they're going to go out even stronger up against Celta. Now, this is going to be the end of this live stream. I have been your host for today on YouTube Play Red. Make sure to follow us on our English Twitter page at Real Mallorca English, and also make sure to tune in next week where Real Mallorca face up against Celta Vigo at 5 p.m. next Saturday. So make sure to tune in for that. And I've been your host for today's live stream. Thank you very much for joining us, and take care, everybody. Have a good night. My name is Daniel Armstrong, and take care.
Se llevan los 3 puntos el FC Barcelona. Nos vemos el sábado que viene y vamos a cruzar los dedos para que no sea a las 5 de la tarde. Gracias, buenas noches, pasad un buen fin de semana. Suerte. Gracias, Visca Mallorca.
Visca Mallorca.